Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. I'm Mark, your humble host, and it is 1 p.m. on Monday, and it is time for a roller wiener. It is Roller Wiener Monday, of course, so get your wieners ready and get them in your mouth, and we're going to get started with the show. So I do this every week at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you all set your clocks ahead. Some of you may not be showing up here for another hour. And did that affect anyone's 34-hour break? That's an interesting question. Hey, there's some coronavirus statistics, and they're going to cancel Matt's because of this? I'll tell you what, there's a petition, and right now, we don't know. The hours of service final rule is moving ahead. Finally, we've got some information about it. There's some stock prices. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff coming up. Currently, Matt's is still at the end of March. Hopefully that will still go on, and we will talk about it. And there's other things happening in the news. What's happening out there? So let's see what's going on out there. Today is Monday. I don't know why I said that. All right, so Michael Mullo is here first. I see that he's going to be off today. What's up with being off on a weekday? He was first on Thursday. Today I had Wild Bill first today. Trucker Hershey was also in early over at orientation right now at GP Transco. Very nice. I hope they are feeding you well. So hello today. Misty is here today. Hello. On a new route. That's going to be interesting to see how that works. Overnights. I love the Homewood Suites idea, right? Rhino, what's going on? Wild Bill is here today, so we're here for that. And holy mackerel, that sounded loud even to me. May have woke up the cat. So what's going on? Peter is here today. What's happening today? AB5, we can get into that today, certainly. That'll be really great. Love talking about that stuff. Trucker Todd, what's happening? Christina's here. Hello there. What's going on out there, everybody? Did anybody get their 34 break messed up by this extra hour? All right, 1 hour less. I was looking that up, and the DOT says you need 34 actual hours. So I wondered if that affected anybody. Chris, what's happening? Do not take your break at the fuel island. I agree with that. Always. Jason is here. Good morning from California. Good morning, George Wilson. Consolidated Freightway drivers. Wow, are there any of those left? They closed quite a while ago. Al Johns is here. What's happening? All right, so Chicken Hauler is here. Cassius King Trucking from North Carolina. Nice. Better weather down there. I love it. Trucker Beetle Bailey, what's happening? We're here. George W. Bush, the President of the United States, former President, is here. FTC Vlogs is here. Good morning from Indiana. Hello there. Good morning from Indiana here. Michael Cole made it. Good. George Costanza is here. It's Roller Wiener Monday, as always, every Monday. Michael is here. Hello. Joseph Chapman. Oh, the coronavirus got Mark. Oh, no, I'm here today. Maybe it might get me, but who knows? Stephen Taylor, Texas Trader. I'm upset over the stock market. Yeah, I've got some stock prices here today. It's going to be fun to see that today. Oh, Ronald, thank you very much. Have a roller wiener on you. I will. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. And the stock market did take a little bit of a dive today. So so it is affecting your 34-hour break. You have to take another hour wait for reset. That's right. So that's pretty good. I wondered if it would affect anybody on that. I was at Sam's Club. They usually get 1 water truck a day. They're currently getting 3. Mad rush. I know. And so at Meijer yesterday, there were tons of shelves empty from all the hand washing supplies are gone out of there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Steven, as his wiener in his hand, watching me. That's the way to do it. Same here. I can't see in the Josh. Did you get the special event ship and Star Trek Online? No, the special event ship is the end of the year. So we have to go through 4 more events, right, for that. You'll get one at the end of the year. I get all the rest of them, though. I certainly get all the rest of them. Caleb, what's going on? CJ right now just happened to stay in the south. The word warmer, no doubt. Although it's 58 here today or something like that. People are stupid. Walmart is cleaned out of water. I know. And plus, people are buying toilet paper, too. So what's going on with that? Any opinions on Load One? I don't know what Load One is. So is that it seems like I've seen their trucks. Trucking company, is that what I'm thinking? Right now, just ATA new hours of service. Why have the ELD? Well, the new hours of service. All right. So the hours of service final rule has been sent to the Office of Management and Budget. And do you know what that means? They get 90 days to review it. So, but that's better than they said. So supposedly in 90 days, we will have a ruling on whether that is actually going to go anywhere or not. We don't know yet how that's going to work. And plus, sometimes they can push that back. They can actually push that back. Oh, Vannon, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So that's very much appreciated. So they can push that they can push the 90 days back. They're supposed to have it out in 90 days. So they could push it back. They asked the acting administrator, Jim Mullen, I think is his name, what the hours of service were going to be. He wouldn't elaborate. He goes, I can't tell you, but like he said the other day, he goes, the best ones are where both sides are a little bit mad. So, but we don't know if they're using the old hours of service. If they said, okay, this is exactly what it's going to be, where you can change your break and stuff, the 30-minute break. We don't know. So people that are saying they know or whatever, he wouldn't say a word about what the new hours are going to be. We're still waiting, but at least we're moving along. We have 90 days. 90 days, supposedly. Darnell Rhodes, evening from Central Iowa. Hello. Hi from the Loves in Denton, Texas. Stan Dodge, I love it. 63 and sunny in Raleigh today. That's nice, but you're only a couple degrees ahead of us. Trucking is very slow. It is. It depends what you haul, I guess, right? No change here. 60 and beautiful in Rochester, New York. That's not bad, I would say. Kelly, good morning from Eugene, Oregon. Good morning out there on the west side. West side, right. Hey, what's happening? Let's all boycott the Loves because it won't fly the flag. Who says that? There's a flag up at every Loves. This always goes around Facebook every once in a while. No truth to it. Okay. Alexandra, 60 in Carlisle. Drive safe. Hello, Alexandra. Good afternoon. Nice day here just outside of Cincinnati. Jay Cook, right? Cash to Skin got 4 deliveries done today, early today, so you could tune in. I appreciate that. So knowing you with the stops, you probably have 7 more stops on that trailer. Great honesty. Which trucking company pays the most money for 6 months experience for a CDL driver? Get 6 more months and you'll really make money. All right. What's the verdict here? 6-month driver, most money. Right. And I never think the money is the solution to anything. Okay. So headed to California off the 80 for a day. Good morning from cloudy Bakersfield. A lot of people going out there today. Mario, Texas oil field loads are slowing down. Oh, yeah. Well, gas is super cheap. $2 here. $2 for gas here. Pretty nice. So, because I fill up the wife's car every week. So we're looking at, the wife was like $2.59 or whatever for premium, but $2 here for regular, not bad here in Indiana. Tyler Bowers, hi Mark, trying to make it to the shop. Got an air dryer not working, so can't stay for the whole show. Well, I appreciate you checking in at all. And make the shop play it on all those TVs they have in there. So that would be really great. Caleb, I could have started a bottled water company and hand sanitizer. I know. If we only knew. Of course, every couple years there's another virus outbreak. Expediting company. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I'm selling water, 2 bottles for $20. Yeah, we should go find some somewhere and just sell them. I started 10 days off starting Sunday and lost an hour right away. That stinks. You never take your time off. Always take it in the fall so you get an extra hour. Slick Rick, Sierra England is closing down. Is that true? Boy, I wish. I haven't heard anything about that. I wish. People buy, I know why, Johns, I know why they buy toilet paper. I don't know why they're buying so much of it right now. Is there more of a need for it right now? There doesn't seem to be. Alexander, what are the implications of the bill in Ohio if it passes with freight costs and quality of drivers? How will they consider what drivers count to their tax break? Well, it won't affect the drivers at all. The drivers don't get the tax break. Only the companies do. What it does, it just helps lower the rates because they don't have to pay as much to hire drivers. So, and it's not encouraging the companies. They don't have to do anything else but hire drivers into the industry, and then they can qualify for this tax break. So it won't, and freight costs will go, well, the cost will go, of shipping will go down because they can take freight at a lower cost because they have less money invested in the driver, so they don't have to get as much money on the rate. That certainly won't help owner-operators or people that get paid a percentage of the load. If the company can take a lower rate, you get a lower rate. Isn't that wonderful? Wild Bill, who do you drive for? Well, people don't ever ask me that. That's good. For new people on the show, I don't ever say where I drive for. That keeps them out of my videos. You know, so many people, then they're all up in your business. And sometimes everybody on here is recruiting for their company too. I don't do any of that. No recruiting, and keeps them out of the videos. That way I can basically say whatever I want because I'm not speaking for anybody. George Costanza, is it just me or has the orange skillet gone downhill in the past few years? The dinner buffet didn't worth 3, much less 13. Petro's not the place to take a 34. Well, I've always thought Petros were pretty nice, but it depends on the buffet, I guess. Effingham, nicest one. Down 1,700. I saw that, right. That was way down. Thank you, Wild Bill. I appreciate it. Brian HOS, hello from Pennsylvania. These new hours of service, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits for minimum wage. I don't know. There aren't enough as it is. There should be more of them right now for minimum wage. George Costanza, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Did you see the TA Petro letter about raising the price of parking? What do you think? Yeah, I agree. I did see that letter floating around Facebook that they're going to raise the price of parking even more. And plus, parking isn't going to count towards your total fee at places. Yeah, the only way to stop that, and of course, I'm on the side of business that they can charge whatever they want. But the thing is, we don't have to pay it. So the way to stop that, don't go there, right? It works the same as trucking companies, okay? Find a truck stop and boycott that truck stop. You can't boycott all truck stops. Same with the trucking company. You find one company and boycott them. You find one truck stop. Say nobody goes there for 24 hours. And then nobody goes in that truck stop for 24 hours. That is exactly how you change it. The power is always in the hands of the people that are spending the money or that are giving the labor. And people just don't take their power. Easy solution. Right, I agree with you, and I agree with you about that letter, right? Don't go there. Do not park there. Don't pay there. Don't go there. It's the way that it is. And then it will suddenly end. The only reason they can charge it is because they get the money. Darnell, let's see, Brian, okay, 75. Customer that I'm dedicated to makes us sign a paper every pickup saying we haven't been to any foreign region and no flu symptoms. Oh, that's pretty good. I wonder, what do you pick up? Pulled all trucks in the oil field until it picks up. Oh, right. Okay, well, that's a real problem, right? When you find a niche, it could be great, but then when it goes down, you're out. Wilbon, what's up? What's happening? If trucking is slow, ask your company to turn your truck speed up. That's one way to do it. You can get more miles. Ezekiel stays out of California. K&B, 50 cents, 2,500 mile week guarantee, 6 months. Yeah, that's not terrible, right? And with their better attitude, that might not be a bad place because of the guarantee. I like the $12.50 guarantee. What's the deal there about getting the guarantee? How are they about giving that? Gas is $2.39 to $2.59 by Louisville. Oh, you need to step across the border. We're $1.99 hanging around up here. Not bad. Hunsley, hi Mark. Sunday, middle of the night. They stole 1 hour from me. Oh, I know. Breezewood, the TA charges $18 for parking. That's right. That's part of that they're going to raise their parking prices. Solution, start writing them letters, hit them on social media, and don't go there. Tell them you're not spending any more money there. That would change super fast if the place was empty. What if you emptied out a place for a week? You find one truck stop. It doesn't matter which one. Pick one. That may be TA Carlisle. Fine. Pick it. Nobody, or Breezewood. Nobody goes there all week. Not one truck comes in or out there. George Wilson, good luck on Walgreens to Misty. Right. I know. That's pretty good. You announce yourself through the front of the store. You can pound on the door and ring that bell. No one will come. No doubt. Right. Dow down over 1,600. I know. Stocks are not doing great. All fuel, local, good money. It certainly is. That driver in Indianapolis died, by the way, that got rescued a week or two ago that crashed that tanker truck full of jet fuel. He died. It was announced today. He turned over on the 465 ramp to 74, which is a decreasing radius ramp, although he's a local driver. You should know that. But either way, he didn't make it. He went to the hospital, Burns, died today. 59, I think, 59. Money isn't everything. Job satisfaction is important. I agree. Money is not anything, right? Compared to, you want to hate your job all day so you can make an extra $200. Alexander's to get a washout, have a food grade load going back to Indiana. At least you're coming back home. And have people been washing their hands before now? I know. Why are people just washing their hands now and getting toilet paper? What were they doing? What, with just shower curtain? Just using the shower curtain like you do when you're over at somebody's house? Do you agree with the company that will... No, nobody's ever going to invite me to their house. Do you agree with the company that will pay for Arizona license, but you work... Do you agree with the company that will pay for Arizona license, but you work for them for 1 year? I don't know what you mean, pay for an Arizona license. You mean like your driver's license? Your CDL? I haven't had one do that. I have OCD. I've washed my hands 5 to 10 times a day. You're ahead of it, right? Hello, Fleet Nav Systems. Happy Monday. It's good to see you. Are you washing your hands over there? Hello from Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm about to be headed home. That's great. Kim English, everyone knows that Mark works for Roland Wiener Express. Yes. I drive the Wienermobile, which I think would be an awesome job. 70 and breezy in Wetumpka. Chris Fulton sitting at Lowe's, waiting on lawn and garden to bring a forklift and pal jack. Tell them to get going. Of course, depending where that is, what state that's in, I can't think of, right? It might be lunchtime. Charles, if Searingland's closing, I hope your DM is the first one out the door. There's been talk over time, especially that this year, because apparently it's their 100th birthday or whatever, that they're selling the place this year, but there's nothing verified with that. We can't verify that. So as far as I know, they're not closing. I remember when Werner got a big tax break, we all got a few cents. Nice. New equipment and some corporate pinhead type stuff, but they handled it. Well. Well, at least you got something. We'll be out here till 1:50 to help with DLD questions. Hoping to gotten later before 3 or around 3. Let me see. I have my right there. We go. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Geotab Experts. How about that? Do you have any questions for them? Be sure to add them in the questions there. They're also on YouTube. Check out their channel. It's super informative. Then free roller wieners for all questions. I paid $18 in Greenville. T8 price gouging. Stan, it's not gouging if you pay it. That's the thing of it. I'm on the libertarian type side of this, right? Paid parking it's a private business. That's what people don't like that. It's private. The solution, don't go there, right? Do not pay it. Alexander, it's $20 to park at the Petro in Effingham. That's crazy. Plus the buffet. Okay, that's a lot. Unless your company pays it. Okay, the company should pay it if you're a company driver. But if they don't pay it. It isn't gouging, though. There's no gouging in the United States for anything. Companies can charge whatever they want, and you can pay it or not pay it. That's what I think. There's no price gouging in the United States. Otherwise, do you want the government to set the prices? Because then they get to set your wage as well. I try to stay away from the TA because of their rickety bathroom stalls. Cash is king. You don't want that door open at an inappropriate moment. Why are some of them all beat up? What are people doing in there? To the stall in the bathroom. They're like the doors all dented in. Like people are like, they're having a kick fest in there. Nicest Petro in Trails is Albert Lee, Minnesota. I-35 exit 11. All right. It's 20 at Ontario TA. Both sides, in the party side and the regular side. Alexander likes Minnesota in the summer only. That sucks for us. We all coronavirus. That's not great. Jeffrey Franklin, the Mexican beer Corona Extras changed its name to Ebola Extra. They did a survey and 43% of the people said they would be reluctant to buy Corona beer because of this. That's what they said. Okay, this is why we're not on Mars. Keep that in mind. This is why we are not on Mars right now. The reason why is the Flying J across the street. Well, what do they charge over there? Good afternoon, Mark. Greetings, drivers. Imperial Sink. Hello there. Chris Streeper. I'll be darned if I just passed a Swift truck with a flatbed on it outside of Charlotte. Swift has some flatbeds. Cassius King had to sign a release at his last pickup saying you didn't have coronavirus. Well, honestly, how would you know if you had coronavirus, right? You may not know if you have coronavirus. Do you have any of the symptoms of coronavirus? Let's see. I have a thing right here with them. Here's your coronavirus symptoms right here. But it takes 2 to 14 days for these symptoms to show up. What if you don't have any symptoms? You could still have coronavirus and not know you have coronavirus. You're not a doctor. Having you sign that thing, that doesn't prove anything. You may not know that you have coronavirus. Petro in Hammond, Louisiana just said $20 a spot, trucking jargon. Yeah, they said that they're raising their prices. The solution, don't park there. Pick one and don't park there for a week. That's all you got to do. Then go to the next one, don't park there for a week. Or 2 days. Maybe 2 days for a truck stop. It doesn't have to be a week like a trucking company. 2 days for a truck stop, that proves a good point to them. Nobody comes in or out of that place for 2 days. Kelly, I don't park at truck stops anymore unless no choice. Yeah, I mean, that's the solution to it. Don't go in there. And don't pay them anything. Write them and also write to them and say, hey, I'm not paying you. I don't park in here, nothing. Best time to buy and hold stocks. That's what Warren Buffett says. Buy things when they're on sale. Deliver ingredients to ethanol plants. Customers Chinese owned. Products made in the U.S. Well, you should make them sign a thing. D-Boy611, good afternoon. Waiting in the dock for them to rebuild a slit of my load that they lost. Nice. Rebuild. We will have to rebuild it. We have the technology. This would be the week for trucking slowdown with all these water and toilet paper shortages. I know. What about all the toilet paper people? I guess everybody that hauls for Georgia Pacific will be busy. How much is the TA raising parking? Well, we're seeing it's $18 to $20 a spot now. Matt Hatter, hello. What's going on? I came in. What's the hours of service update? Okay, hours of service 2020 rule has been sent to the Office of Management and Budget. Jim Mullen, which I think is his name, right? The acting director of the FMCSA. If that's not his name, I apologize. I think that's what his name is. Anyway, he said, hey, we've sent it over to the Office of Management and Budget, and now they have 90 days to review it and get it out there. So supposedly within 90 days of last week, we'll have the new hours of service. We'll know what it is. He refused to comment on what they were. So people saying they know what it is, he wouldn't say. So we don't know if they made a great change or just a small change. I don't know. But we have 90 days, finally. I'm not going home, Alexandra. I'm just getting on the mountains is all. Hoping to get a load going to Washington, Wisconsin or Minnesota. You need some cheese curds. Oh, Wisconsin. You cannot go through Wisconsin without getting cheese curds. Absolutely agree with that. I want to know who's not a driver. The rest of them, they use the urinal, then walk out. Drivers always wash their hands, or they should. Well, I wish it was that way. Some drivers are washing their feet in there, I've seen. Teal truck sighting, 78 New Jersey past exit 7. That's not a great sign. What are we doing in Jersey out there? Stan, I see that so many times out there. I noticed a few weeks up tip signs in showers. Is tipping the shower cleaners a thing? I never do that. Does that make you a bad person? So we accept tips. I don't tip anyone that says I accept a tip. That's just a policy. That's it. That's like the doorman in the Jeffersons. If everybody remembers that show, probably only me. From the 70s, George, the doorman, whenever you walk by him, he always had his hand out like this. Here, waiting for a tip. Okay, that's not people you tip. And the thing is, I don't like tipping just as a principle anyway. Why doesn't the company pay the employees a proper wage? This is about one of the only countries where you tip, where it's like expected. That allows the company to not pay people anything. They ought to pay more. You should write a letter to that company and say, hey, why don't you pay people more so you don't have to beg me for money? How about that? Although they'd probably fire the person then. Dr. Drew shut down the media, John, and told the media to shut up about the coronavirus. More people die from the flu. I have flu versus coronavirus numbers right here today. So the flu, in the last year, 20,000 deaths. Coronavirus, 3,000. This is worldwide. The death rate on the flu is less than 0.1%. The coronavirus, it has a higher rate, currently at 2.3%, probably because it's new. But 34 million people got the flu. 100,000 people have gotten coronavirus. So it's not a big worry yet. It's being way blown out of proportion. I love that the governor of Kentucky came out today, because there's a bunch of it down there. And a bunch meaning a few. And told the people not to trust the internet for your coronavirus information. Then he sent them to a website that run by the state of Kentucky. Don't trust the internet. Go to our website. That was super hilarious. Misty wants to know if you are getting the teal truck that I promised everyone, the trucker Hershey. How about a cat break? There's always time for a cat break. By the way, she's on break in her bed right here. If I can find her over there. She'll consider having this kind of break. There she's on my bed. But now she's in her own bed. She can't ever decide which bed to be in, really. Gracie. My company pays for parking, Alexander. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that amount. And that's the other problem, is that the TA and that, they're going to try to get deals with companies, which the company should pay for it. It's their truck. But then people that don't have that option, I guess they can quit, though, or whatever. But I would tell you what, I wouldn't pay $100 a week to park somewhere if it happened to be at a company. That'd be a big deal. They'd have to raise my pay or something. Texas, I found a cat backpack for Gracie to come to Matt's in. I don't know how that would work. She'd probably be able to claw through it in just a few minutes. Just taking her to the vet is not a great program. I can't imagine being in the car with her for 3 hours. Bruce, the new guy at Gemini Motor Transport, says hello from Azale, Texas. In Breezewood, Pennsylvania, at the TA, 70% is paid parking since they closed the Flying J. That right. But I mean, it's their place, right? They can open it up and pay it. I mean, that's the American way, right? Isn't that the American way? Maybe they're doing the dirty in the stalls. Alexander, who's that? Billy Big Rigger and Jimmy Little Rigger? Yikes. Who's in there? I mean, you've all seen this. I don't know if it's like this in the women's stalls. Maybe some of your women can comment. Some of the men's stalls, the doors are all beat up. Like there's been some kind of altercation in there. Once something going on, or who knows what. I stopped in Hammond, Louisiana yesterday. Was in free parking, and someone comes beating on the door telling it's $20, so I left. Well, if it's free, it's free. And who is this? Was this one of their guards, too? Tanker is slowing up some. Only ran 3,000 miles last week. Yeah, that's horrible. 3,000 miles. That sounds tiring. Only ran 3,000 miles. I refuse to park at a Petro. You have they're closing the Skeleton Country Pride and changing to IHOP. Yeah, that saves them money, I'm sure. If I owned a truck stop within 75 miles of a metro, there'd be no free parking. I mean, people will pay it. If You pay for parking. I believe that gives you the right to throw your trash in their parking lot. So that, hey, I paid for this spot. I can do whatever I want with this spot. And you have to throw your trash in your spot that you paid for. To your spot. They're practicing for their black belt in bathroom stall, 3rd degree. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there. What is happening in there? Friendly reminder, hot showers are essential. No excuse. That is correct. That's always true. Jeffrey Herring, good afternoon. It's good to see you today. Rebel Yell Trucking turned out to be a trainer at Sierra England. Really? What did they say? How did they turn you down for being a trainer? Do you not have a CDL yet? Is that the problem? Scargill and Tyson are asking that. Really? But how do you know? They should ask about salmonella. Got that from the manager. What's up, Mark? Checking in from the bottom of Cabbage Hill. All right, at least you made it, right, Albert? Or unless you're going up. Albert Lee, Minnesota Petro has a bar in it? Wow. That doesn't seem like a great idea at all. To have a bar in a Petro, what is up with that? Maybe it's a juice bar. Let's hope for that. The Real Parking Solution is getting home on a daily gig. That does solve your parking problems, doesn't it? You don't have to worry about where to park. Chris, I picked up in a shipper on Friday in Streetsboro. They had a sign posted on the door about coronavirus and being on their property. See, the thing is, you don't know if you have... What about the flu? Do they have a sign about the flu? 34 million people get the flu every year. Not worldwide. 34 million people. 8%. They said 8% of the world's population gets the flu every year. Racket Maker was charged $24 at Petro south of Chicago. Wow, that's the most I've seen so far. $24. Did your company pay it? Are you a company driver and did they pay it? The BBC in Hong Kong, a roll of toilet paper is $130 on the black market. Well, we need to get... Can we get on Alibaba and sell this stuff over there or something? I'll ship a case of it over there to them for $1,000. Don't buy fuel from a truck stop for a day. That'll shut them down around here. They get 3 loads of diesel a day, totaling 22,000 gallons. Don't go in there at all. The parking lot's got to be empty the whole day. For an entire day. Nobody goes in or out. And then that's how it changes. And you'll write to them a letter. You write them an email and say, this day we're not coming in here because you charge for parking. When that changes, you'll start seeing us again. I'm from Wisconsin, don't like cheese curds. Guess I'm strange. Yeah, Felicia, what's going on with that? Cheese curds are like, you have to get them. When you cross the state line, they just give them to you. They drop from a thing overhead. Creepy Joe just had an issue with sliding tandems. My truck brake was applied, and yet my trailer tires were rolling when trying to slide tandems. What did I do wrong? You had a trailer without good brakes. So... You didn't do anything wrong. While Bill remembers the Jeffersons, you remember George the doorman putting his hand up for a tip? Right. Hey, Mr. Jefferson, here's your information, right, or whatever. John, teal truck siding Arizona, I-10 eastbound at the exit 3. That's better. And this Jersey thing, that's got to go. My mom was a waitress. I tipped like a guilty son. Look, Pete, we do it, but I don't think you should have to. The waitresses should be paid a proper wage for doing their job. And every study shows you don't get better service whether you tip or not because the waitress doesn't know she's going to get the tip until after the service. So it turns out it doesn't increase your service at all. And the waitresses don't end up making any more money because sometimes, I don't know if it happened where your mom, but a lot of these places, they have to split it. They'll either pool it and split it evenly or pool it and split it with busboys and stuff. That just lets the restaurant pay her less. Not great. Flu has been around, though. The coronavirus is barely kicking up dust. It's still scary to think of it. It is, right? So Matt said, look, they might cancel Matt's. Right now it's going on. Right now it is still on. But there's a petition. Some goofball started a petition to cancel Matt's. And other large gatherings have been canceled. And what Matt said is it's developing story. They're going to have the show. That's what they say right now. But that if anything changes, they'll let everybody know. I got to imagine by this Friday they'd have to decide. That's 2 weeks away. This Thursday, but it's possible it could be canceled, which is incredible. I guess everybody coming from overseas is not coming. That's what they said. They sell cheese curds and vending machines in Wisconsin rest areas. Cash King, yeah. They just fall out of the machine, too. As the thing turns, there's one curd in there. You put 50 cents, you get a curd. Canadian Tanker Yanker, hello, what's happening, eh? Trying to get it together. New hours of service update is sent to the Office of Management and Budget. Get ready for it. They have 90 days by law to respond, although they can extend that. But Jim Mullen, the acting director of the FMCSA, said, hey, I'm not going to tell you what's in it, but don't worry, everybody's going to be a little bit mad about it. That's basically what he said. So we don't know what they're going to be, but it moved forward from where it was. 90 days from last week. GP Transco's here. Hello. Sorry we're late. It's good to see you. I don't guarantee a teal-colored truck, but GP Transco guarantees you $1,000 a week. So if you got to sit around somewhere, at least you're going to make $1,000. That's not a salary for people that ask, too. That's not the maximum you make, okay? That's the minimum you make. Holy mackerel. There's some information for GP Transco right there. I spent International Women's Day yesterday with my bestie who drives for Pride. That's pretty awesome. It was International Women's Day yesterday, and I hope all women had a good day like they should every day. Not just on one day. How about that? Suggested for drivers, your company's not giving you enough miles at the moment. Don't quit. All carriers are struggling with freight. Oh, yeah, exactly. Somewhat because of coronavirus. Yeah, because you have one low week or whatever, or a couple of low weeks. Don't quit over that. Because the next place may not do any better. Talk to them and see what the story is and, and see what's going on. Don't just suddenly quit, certainly. Kelly, my ex-wife, went to the hospital with flu and asked about coronavirus. The staff told her they were really disappointed in media coverage, no doubt. Not worse than a cold with some exceptions for immunocompromised. Yeah, it turns out that on the thing I was reading that just like the flu, the older you are, the little bit harder it is on you, or if you have some kind of other thing that is affecting you. Otherwise, most people get through it and are fine with it. So, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just start washing your hands like everybody else apparently just did, just like normal, and shower every day. Things are crazy. The office driver onboarding boot camp is full. Oh, I love it. Boot camp is full all week. Coronavirus is making us rearranging what we do with freight. Really? How is coronavirus affecting your freight? What, to the West Coast? They're playing who's the bigger trucker in the stalls. Yikes. But bigger around. not any other kind of bigger. Look, I don't know about women's stalls. Okay, but the men's stalls, some of them are all beat up. I don't understand it. Flatbed rates are climbing. That's great. La Sombra advised a new student applicant for sponsored TDL from New York lodging out of state for a year straight. What to expect? Should I stay after my contract? It depends. Your contract, it depends on the company. Are they treating you right? Some people stay. You may have found the great place right to start out with. So at the end of you'll have to decide that at the end of your contract on whether you stay at that company or not. I made it on parked at the casino in the West End. All right. GP, I recommend you to all my besties. She's a serious road warrior. Yeah, maybe if she comes over there, she'll be at boot camp, apparently. I hope she can tolerate boot camp. That sounds kind of tough. No, I'm an owner-operator. It's a tax write-off at least. Oh, okay. Well, you can write it off then. That's correct. But $25 a day, over $20 a day, all week, it's kind of expensive. Misty, what are her initials? We'll look for an application. All right. My question in this coronavirus, is there any young people around 20 or 30 sick right now? Because they say it affects the old. Yeah, everybody gets sick from it. It's just how sick you get from it. They said, over 80 is the worst part of it. And then the younger you get, the easier it is on you, really. So being in my extreme upper 30s, I should be okay. It's the employees punching the stalls when they see the mess. That could be right. That's possible. I would imagine those bathroom stalls are dented from guys running to the toilet. How many truck drivers do you see running anywhere? Most I paid was at Phillips 66 near the rail yards for $20. I mean, it's getting $140 a week. You're looking at, over $7,000 a year to park your truck if you're out every day. That gets expensive. So if the company pays it, I guess you're better off. That's something to consider then. A company paid parking could save you $7,000 a year out of your pocket. Up to $7,000 a year. See dealer for details. Your mileage may vary. Never know what you're going to see in the Schneider fleet. Past two Columbias, a long-nose Pete, and an old T2000. Wow. All company trucks. Schneider's running T2000s and long-nose Petes. Where is this going on? Hours of service update, trying to get it together. Hey, get it together over there. The hours of service have been sent to the Office of Management and Budget. And the Office of Management and Budget now has 90 days to review them. Jim Mullins said, I'm not going to tell you what's in them, but he didn't say nobody. He said both sides are going to be a little upset about it. So they've moved forward. Before we were waiting for that, now they have 90 days. 90 days from last week, we should know then what they're going to be. Did they change the 30-minute break? Did they do 2 extra hours? Did they do 2 less hours? He wouldn't say. People are saying they know. He wouldn't say. He would not say. Christina, I worry about how places allow men to use men's bathrooms because these people claim they feel as women. I think this is why women's bathrooms are getting bagged with graffiti and beat-up doors. Are women's bathrooms otherwise nicer? They probably are. I assume that they have chandeliers and stuff in there and potpourri and everything, everything else. But what men are not using the men's bathrooms? Certainly at a truck stop. I don't know if that happens. Coronavirus, I guess it's certainly possible. Coronavirus is targeting the elderly, those with compromised immune systems. Children are more resilient. Those kids. I just pulled half my 401k and cut my contributions in half till the Wall Street boys are done shorting the market. Holy mackerel. Don't you get some kind of penalty for pulling money out of your 401k early? Do you think it's something everybody needs to worry about, Brian? Loving the Reservoir Dog style tip the waitress discussion. Is Joe Buscemi in the chat today? Here's the thing. I've always thought this about tipping. And I'm always sad about it. All it does is allow companies to pay people less money. You're funding what the company should be funding. Waitresses shouldn't have to be tipped because the company should be paying them a wage that they should be paying them. They're saying, hey, why don't you pay them the rest of the money we should pay them? That's a story on tipping. I don't like it. And now everybody's moved to tipping. Now apparently the showers have tipping jars or a sign. I've seen them at Starbucks and stuff in there. No. And asking for a tip, no. I will say this. I haven't seen that movie. What is the story in there? I've heard something about that. What did they say in there about it? You got your tickets last week in the mail for Mance, Christina. Yeah, the tickets came. It's awesome, right? So hopefully, if it's open, we'll see you down there. What's going on with the hours of service? They went off to Office and Management and Budget for a 90-day review. That is farther than they were. So in 90 days, we should know what they are. They haven't said yet what they are. That's disappointing. But so anybody that says, well, here's what they're going to be, they haven't said what they're going to be. Walmart's trying to gouge with water and toilet paper due to stupidity and lack of common sense concerning Corona. There's no gouging. As I say in the United States, a company can charge whatever they want for a product, and you can pay it or not. So there's no gouging with anything, certainly. There was water at Meijer yesterday. I did see that. There's plenty of water, although the hand washing stuff was out. But there's no gouging. As long as they still open the doors, I'll be at Matt's. I got your ticket Saturday, Chicken Hauler. That's great. I'll be down there. If they keep the thing open, I'm going. Getting on Trainer's truck tomorrow, day one. Highway Freak, that's going to be great. I hope that solution will be soon. Yeah, no doubt. Eating Steak and Shake on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, that's pretty good. Steak and Shake. Their hamburgers are so thin you can see through them. That's what their advertisement should be. Hamburgers, you can't even tell if they're there or not. 60,000 die every year. The flu, I got 20,000 worldwide deaths of the flu in 2019 out of 34 million cases. And mostly that's older people. Red Monkey Trucking is here. What's going on? Hope you're well. Corona's being blown way out of proportion. I know. It's slightly more deadly than the flu due to affecting respiratory. It's going to stop when it warms up. Let's hope. Fortunately now people apparently are going to wash their hands, so that's really good. Always tip your dancers. That's a different story, right? You're getting a service for that. Frankie Rich, minimums are nice. I drove reefer for Maverick, started out and had weeks where I only did 15,000 miles. That'd be a good week. And still got $1,000. Okay, 1.5 miles. You probably mean 1,500 miles. Yeah, a minimum. I'm all for a minimum at every company. You're not just going to get that minimum, but on the weeks when it's slow, you still get that, and that increases your overall pay for the year. You don't have to worry. You know, at least I'll always make $1,000 if I'm available to work. Mike Nicolette, they provide a real service. Yes, that people need. Georgia Ports has been operating at 24% loss due to coronavirus. I know. The West Coast ports just laid a bunch of people off. That was in the news because of all the shipping problems. Your mom got strep and they tested her for corona. Me and the dog are the only guys in your house. They treat that dumb dog way better. Oh, Cassius King Trucking only on the second song. Hey, TikTok. Well, see you later. Use a Pete flicking his chicken lights with running the Jake break at 3 a.m. in the pickle. That's a good buddy. Yeah, that's a problem. No Jakes in the truck stop, please. Cassius King, they now skin-to-skin contract increases chances of coronavirus. Yes, they should have those kind of signs at those type of establishments that I've never seen or visited. It seems you have a bunch of medical experts in here today. That's true. Well, this is from the CDC. You don't trust me. This is CDC guidelines right here. These are the common symptoms of coronavirus from the Centers for Disease Control. Okay? So, and this doesn't mean you have it. These are the symptoms of coronavirus. Check your doctor if you feel you need to see a doctor. There are just not that many cases, and they're making a big deal about it. I only go to 3-foot rule clubs. No, right. Well, I don't know anything about that, of course. I've only read about them in history books. They're good drivers in every carrier, even ones that have a negative stigma. Oh, absolutely. Every carrier has great drivers. It's just some of them aren't treated well. And so the companies that don't treat drivers as well, a lot of those good drivers leave and go somewhere else. And that's too bad. Alexander, I had to park on the south side of Chicago in the meatpacking district, and it was $30. Do they take? Wow, $30. Could you turn that receipt in? They probably don't have a deal with them. So were you able to at least turn that in and get paid back for it? Because you said they pay for it. I think Mother Nature got the coronavirus started this morning in Wisconsin. 60 degrees in Iowa with iced over mirrors. Nice, Darnell. Schneider and Amola has a lot of older trucks. Nothing new, really. Down in Indy, they seem to run day cabs. Schneider has day cabs running around. Columbia, George. May I have permission to share a dash cam video of a bonehead England driver busting a bonehead move? You can. You can't share a link on in the chat. That won't allow you to share a link. You can email it to me. Snyder's running the power-only brokerage now. Oh, okay. How about clean the splat off the toilet and walls? I was doing an LTL pickup at a customer. Bathroom had a sign, no over-the-road drivers. We're our own problem sometime, right? You go into a place and they go, we don't let drivers use the bathroom. People are always upset about that. Oh, why don't they let truck drivers use the bathroom? Well, because they've ruined the bathrooms. So sometimes we're our own problem. U.S. Road Logistics out of North Carolina allows drivers with dinosaur trucks to work under them. Some of them don't have a requirement for the year of the truck, just that the truck be in good shape. Which I don't mind. If it'll pass an inspection, I mean, that's not bad, is it, right? In Oregon, it's legal to say you feel like a man and use the opposite bathroom, Kelly. Well, that's not right. So you can just feel like, I guess a woman could do the same thing then, right? You can just feel like whatever you want. What the heck? When my wife was writing me, she said the women's bathroom is disgusting. Well, that's not great. I mean, I assume the women's bathroom has a 3-piece violin band in there playing. You know, soft music, chandeliers, potpourris, couches, that kind of thing. I had to not use the bathroom at the Loves. She almost threw up. What are they? You should go complain to them and say, if you're going to have this place open, at least clean the bathroom. Hey, Romulo, what's going on? Non-compete agreements should be outlawed in the trucking industry, Rick Davis. I agree. I don't like them at all. Some companies enforce them, some don't. Red Monkey Trucking is going to be persistent with GP Transco. All right. Alexandra, the one that continues to be persistent is the winner, right? Alexandra, I kind of resent a statement seeing how I'm a transgender. At the end of the day, I'm a woman. I'm going to use the woman's restroom. Yeah, look, you can use whatever bathroom, the thing about bathrooms, why can't people just go to the bathroom in there? Why do they have to, why does there have to be a bathroom problem with anybody? Can we go in the bathroom, not beat up the toilets, and then just go outside? The women just get a chandelier in there. Rhino, 350-pound man can run fast if he's on his last pair of britches. That would be something. I flat out bribe tip to donate to get unloaded first. Well, that's not a tip. I don't think that's a tip. I think it's a bribe. Last week I attached a tipping jar to the driver's side door of my truck. Oh, that's interesting. Tell the shipper, put an envelope in there and say, please tip here. Pay it back at 5.75% over 6 months. I'm down 6% this year. I'm not losing till the market is winning. Okay. Mob Ent has 4 free tickets for mats. Yeah, they're $10 right now. They're $10 value. What's wrong with tipping? All candidates for political office beg for a donation, right? You don't have to tip them. Here in Meyer and Lansing, Michigan, drivers stay safe. Thank you for bringing me my stuff down here. Too much experience. I thought I wouldn't conform. I would love to take the wifey. Yeah, bring her down. How about call the office and speak with Marissa? All right, and see if they'll re-review it. Men tend to be more violent. I have to stop myself from punching stuff. I don't know, men. Why do you have to be violent in the bathroom? Is there some reason to punch the bathroom walls? Can we just go to the bathroom in peace? HIV kills millions, but people still have weird stuff going on. That's you're wrong. There's a gouging when they stack the center aisle with the water. Pretend there's a TP shortage. I don't understand it. Why are people buying water? The CDC released an article saying that people should watch The Walking Dead to prepare for an epidemic. That would be something if they did that. It's okay as long as you can't get coronavirus from a roller wiener. No, I think with all the preservatives and stuff in there, you're not going to get anything. Yeah, Frankie, you were doing good, 15,000 miles, and you still had to get the minimum. What's the pay over at that place? 2 cents a mile. Oil prices are plummeting. Should I be concerned about massive layoffs? Yeah, apparently there's layoffs in the oil field. That's how it goes out there, right? It's $1.99 in some places here in Indiana. I watch The Walking Dead. I call Negan, however you spell it. I don't watch that show. The NBA advised the players to fist bump fans in other players instead of high fives. Really? Is that going to change anything? It's still touching. New DOT rules might be available, possibly by chance, sometimes conceivably at a near term when it may be weather permitting. Exactly. 90 days we're waiting from last week, and they can extend it. They go, we can probably extend this. I was looking into dynamic transit. Anybody in here know anything about them? Dynamic. I think somebody has talked about them. Who's on here from Dynamic? Dynamic transit. Where did that go off to? Right. In my extreme upper 30s and experiencing symptoms of everything. That's true. Well, Clara Peller, she would be a problem with coronavirus. I don't fist bump. If you can't shake my hand, you're too weak to make the effort to begin with. Well, they're saying that because of coronavirus. Alexander, so you were able to turn the receipt in and get the $30. What? I can't imagine what they would say about $30. I mean, that's the most I've seen so far, 30. And how many trucks parked there? That's not, so they got a nice racket going on there. Our senior recruiter, John Alvarez, is helping out with the new driver road test, so we're down to one recruiter. Let's see if she survives the busy day. Are the calls still coming in there? I had swine flu in 2010, was locked. You were shocked at the hospital. I had shock therapy, 10 in a hospital for 5 days. I'll take corona and then get swine flu over again and get swine flu. Some people are being quarantined. Heard about Wilson Logistics trying new tech. If two of their trucks are trailing each other, the lead driver can drive for both trucks. Well, no, Wilson Logistics, they may be part of the test of this. And I did a story about this. We talked about this a few weeks ago, I think. There's a technology where the two trucks can sort of platoon, where they connect to each other, and the front driver is driving both trucks. But right now, all trucks have to have a driver in them, no matter what. So either way, the second truck, the driver in there is still logging drive time. They're not saving anything. They might just be trying it out. Probably because the pay there is so low that they're like, look, we'll just get the second truck to drive itself. They probably won't give the front driver even any extra money on this. So if I feel like a zebra, you can admit yourself to the zoo. I don't think that works out. Zebras are not people. Identify as a Labrador. That doesn't work out either. A bathroom is a glorified hole in the ground. Yeah, not that big of a deal. Yeah, look, just go in the... Everybody should just go in the bathroom and just do whatever they want and just leave. What if both bathrooms just had a bunch of wall of stalls in them and chandeliers? Nobody would know the difference. Miracle maybe signed something asking you if you were showering. Any signs of influenza? Really? Or if you're out of the country? Really? So this... well, I would think in the Miracle you wouldn't have a problem with it, but that's crazy. Do they make you do that when there's the flu? I mean, thousands and thousands upon thousands of people die from the flu. Have they made you sign anything about the flu? No. Last week, where'd we go? Oh, I lose my spot all the time. We had a driver fall asleep behind the wheel on his first run ever. He'll still pick up that load if you're not tired. He said he's good. Thank God nothing serious happened. Yeah. Look, this kind of thing, I'm always curious about this with new people there. They want to show that they're doing a good job or whatever. You don't want to go on your first load and say, well, I'm too tired to do it, right? You could see that side of it. It's preventable. I could certainly see that. But, drivers always think they can do it instead of saying, oh, I'm tired. I don't know. It's a tough call, right? Roller arenas, the only reason I have good immune system. The roller arenas protect you from everything. You could leave them on that roller. There's a roller arena, 25 years old, it's still edible. It's like honey. $1.99 on gas, which is derivative of diesel, which is $1 more. And am I missing something here? Well, yes, kind of, I guess. It's one of the drivers selected to have the operational driver-facing camera for the 2 cents so we could see while reviewing the footage. Nice. So he said, I'll take the camera, and then you can watch him fall asleep. All right. Fair enough. That's fair enough. And where I am, it would depend on the level of the amount of the damage. Okay, they have a damage level. I think it's $15,000 or $20,000, whatever. You're automatically fired if it's your fault, automatically. So I don't know how you guys work it, but that's how they would do it here. Level of damage determines if you're fired. GP, install a water pistol that triggers into the driver's face. That's great. That's not a bad idea. If you're too tired to drive, please pull over and stop. We did not lay off. Now know the oil field. We got a new account for the driver and a higher pay for them. That's great. I do think seems like there's going to be some layoffs in oil. They say gas might be $20 a barrel here by the end of this year. Sent me an article on the CDC of Walking Dead. All right. That would be pretty good if they came out and said that. Alexander, there's enough room for 20 trucks there. It's a ripoff. The truck stop is very dumpy, I bet. So it's $600 a night for the truck parking. And I'm sure it's cash only, or maybe because you could cancel the card or whatever. Yeah. I bet it sounds from the meatpacking place. I'm sure it's a delight going in that place. Oh my gosh. And I'm sure the treatment there, excellent customer service and everything. Oh, thank you for your business, right? Oh my gosh. $600 a night just for that. They won't have to sell anything else in there. He went for the 2 cents and fell asleep. Hopefully he learned to sleep on his break. Yes, it's difficult. The change of the schedule. That's why I'm a big fan of getting on a dedicated run. Really, that's a serious problem there. Where you do the same thing every day at the same time. Even if you're doing like an overnight Walgreens run or whatever. When you do the same thing every day at the same time, you're used to that time. Like I drive at night. I'm home late in the mornings, but I do that every single day at the same time. So that's my schedule. This road where your mornings and afternoons and nights, that's really tough on you. It's really tough. I think you're way safer getting a dedicated run if you can get it. What are your personal feelings on AB5? Lots of misinformation. Yeah, AB5, here's what I think about AB5. Drivers, many of them are misclassified. This is the classification law in California. Many companies out there are misclassifying drivers as independent contractors. When they're saying you drive our truck, you're an independent contractor. No. If you drive somebody else's truck, you are an employee, period. And even some companies, they start a company and then have drivers drive for them using their own trucks. I think those are employees too. I think if you, until you put your name on the side of the truck, you are not running a business. You're having your business do the work of another business. And I think that's an employee. That's what an employee does. Like I work for a trucking company. I do their trucking for them. How is that different from somebody just because they own the truck? They're not doing anything different than I am. Running your own business is running a business. That's what I think. That's what AB5 is all about. When you can decide everything, you run the business, you buy the fuel, you pick the freight, you find the freight, you bill the customer, you collect the money, then you're running a business. When somebody else does that you work for, you're working for them. You are an employee. If our drivers would be doing that, I don't know. That water pistol would have been better than what happened probably. Got to run, everybody. If we aren't on later or missed, feel free to reach out to the channel. Thanks for being here, Fleet Nav Systems. Have fun over there today. How much extra do you pay for the driver-facing camera? GP Transco. They do pay extra. They're the only place I've ever seen that pays extra. By the way, a driver decided to opt into the driver-facing camera, you get 2 cents added to your base pay. As you know, I'm not a fan of driver-facing cameras, but they're optional here, so okay. But it's the only company I've ever seen that pays for them. Only place I've ever seen where you get paid. Most places just stick it in your face and don't pay you anything. So here you get the choice, and if you want the 2 cents, you can get it. And from what you said, right, GP Transco, a lot of people are taking it. Not authorized many bright lights on the road. Daimler Chrysler started putting in truck light along with Volvo and ProStar. Those headlights cost $1,000 for one. You can't change the LED to truck stop. That's right. You can't change those LEDs out. They told us here on the new trucks that we would have to come to the shop and get a loaner truck, and they would order a light because they're not going to stock them because they're so expensive for the new LED trucks. And they'll get it in the next day and replace the headlight. We'll get a loaner truck for a headlight issue. So that's really something. Figure out how to save drivers and small biz fleet owners a lot of money on fuel. They're weaponizing the ELD data to help drivers get loads without broker. Oh, I'm sure that's coming. if you run over a Yugo, you're good. You wouldn't even see it. And are there any Yugos left on the road? Who the heck charges $600 a night for parking? James Dean. Well, what Alexander is saying is the wonderful truck stop, which I'm sure gets 5-star ratings on Yelp, in the meatpacking district of Chicago, is charging $30 a night, and there's 20 parking places. So that's $600 from the night. But believe me, this is going to be a high-class, 5-star Yelp-reviewed truck stop, I'm sure, in the meatpacking district of Chicago. Oh, my gosh. Ricky missed half the show. Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming. Demerits for you. Which carry you with now, if you don't mind us asking, to Al Johns. Another advantage of a dedicated, you never have to pull into a truck stop except to fuel. I never stay overnight in a truck stop. And when I do, loads that are several days away. Roger Penske, that's correct. Depending on your dedicated run, you may not have to get to a truck stop. Now, I used to have a dedicated run that went to Virginia Beach. So Indianapolis to Virginia Beach, Virginia and back. And there were truck stops on that. You would have to do that. But depending what you do, you may not need a truck stop. And even if you do, you can figure out which ones have parking. Believe me, it makes your life a lot easier. Most drivers I talk to don't like them because you have to do the same thing every day. That's the thing they don't like. Oh, I have to do the same thing? Forget it. Well, I don't know what to say. Al Johns works at AAA Cooper, home daily and a dedicated route. They treat you good even when you make a mistake. They're very patient. That's good. Regarding rearranging freight when there's a global issue like health panic, spot market prices go down. That means owner-operators want more dedicated. Oh, okay. Spot market price down, which means putting more company drivers on the spot and owners on some dedicated. When things change it again. So it's a disaster, back office kind of disaster. Mike Nicolette, I want to see the data contrasting the profit potential differences. Wow, that sounds like a nice spreadsheet. In skill, longevity, and ethic of drivers who accept driver-facing cameras versus those who would never drive with a driver-facing camera. Well, I don't know. It'd be tough to do. That'd be tough to do on that one, wouldn't it? Because the cameras are just coming into effect now. Personally, I always tell people, if your company's going to install cameras, it's one thing to decide to leave. If you've been there, you'll have to see how they do it and stuff. But then going to a company where they have mandated cameras, not a great plan, I don't think, because you don't know how they're going to be about it. So that's what I'm saying about cameras. They're coming, though. I think every company over maybe 100 trucks will probably have them in not that long of time. Kelly, I'm not undedicated, but company gives me loads for steady daylight driving. Rarely will they ask me to cover off hours unless they're desperate. So if you do the same time every day, no matter what those times are, I think you're going to be safer because you're up at the same time every day. That's the thought behind it anyway. That's what they tried to do with the logs, where they tried to do 10 and 14 to make it 24 hours a day. Of course, it doesn't work out that way. With all the new laws in California, a lot of companies are not hiring drivers from it. That's true. That is true. Because these companies want, like Prime, which is one of them that put a letter out about it, they want lease drivers. And I think the leasing from Prime, when you're renting the truck from Prime, you're just an employee paying for the truck there. So, right, they don't want to mess with it. AB5 is no different than Arizona when we passed SB 1070. Ooh, it is the state attempting to enforce an already existing federal law that the feds will not enforce. Right. They're trying to enforce it, and California has been the most aggressive about it, probably, of all the states. And they're talking about it in Congress, but I don't think, it's not going to pass through both houses and certainly get signed by the president. I asked my drivers how they would like it and even told them I would pay them more. We still don't have a driver-facing camera in my truck. It depends on the company and who your drivers are. Right. I would not take the money. I'd say no thank you on the money. Keep your camera. Went to 2 AmeriColds last week. Both asked about flu or flu-like symptoms. Said to please reschedule if you answered yes. Both were Purdue hubs. Really? So they don't want any flu-like symptoms. But here, what if you don't have any of these symptoms yet? Because the CDC says 2 to 14 days for symptoms to show up. What if you're 3 days, you don't have any symptoms? I mean, just asking you about that, I don't think that solves anything. I really don't. At $30 a night to park, the no-tell motel with a hot shower is starting to sound pretty good. Just how does that work out on an ELD? Well, no problem on an ELD. If you're at a motel, you can go off duty to a motel, no problem. You're in the motel. It's probably better to sleep in your truck than a $30 motel. I cannot imagine what a $30 motel looks like. You're probably better off in your truck, locking your doors and hoping nothing happens to you. But a no-tell motel, it wouldn't be any problem on an ELD either way. There isn't, because it would be a deep survey opinion and then research into work history, earnings, safety record. But I agree it would be nice to see. It would make an interesting contrast. Do companies, see, the thing is the companies, well, not all, but I guess some companies putting these in, they've reduced their accidents. So by the camera. So what does that say about it? What is the benefit to driver-facing camera except more liability? It does seem to me that companies take on some liability when they put a driver-facing camera in, because in an accident, if you hit somebody, that other lawyer is going to get that footage also. So if the driver was doing something that nobody could otherwise see, it'll be on that camera and may open the company up to more liability than it would otherwise have. So what they're trying to do probably is catch people doing that before there's an accident and fire them before it happens. Like if you get sued, can't that be subpoenaed? Absolutely. The other lawyer's going to say, we want the footage from inside that truck since you have it. On the coronavirus, the actual fatality rate outside of China has been very low. That's true. Still, it seems older guys with lung issues the hardest. Wash your hands. Absolutely. Right. We only have 3,000 deaths in the whole world from it. The whole world. Out of 100,000 cases. So, and most of them are outside the United States. Except the governor of Kentucky said, be sure not to take your information from the internet. Here's the Kentucky website where you can go to. Just went to Houston and back. He didn't see the irony in that, I guess. Roger Penske went to Houston and back. It did not stay in a truck stop. I slept at the National Guard Airport in Las Cruces on the way back. How'd you get in there? Do you have a delivery there? Can you just show up at the airport? Camera, I slept in a restaurant parking lot in Houston. Okay. A restaurant parking lots. You picked like the weirdest place to stop. Fun part of recruiting drivers explaining 10 times a day why W-2 is better than 1099. Listening to drivers telling us that you're lying or making things up. It's the same thing when I sold cars. So I remember this guy specifically. A Dodge, I was at the Dodge dealer then, a full-line Dodge dealer. So he wanted a pickup truck. And I'm talking about the trailer that he's going to pull. He's like, oh, it weighs 8,000 pounds or whatever, and it's got 2 axles. And so at that time, a 150, a D150, right, couldn't, with the 5.2, couldn't haul that much weight. That was more than the truck's rated for. And I'm like, well, you need a 250 to haul that trailer. Oh, he's like, oh my gosh, here's another salesman trying to sell me something for more money or whatever. But in fact, I told him, look, if you bring that 150 in on a hook or something and they see that trailer, there's no warranty, because you are overloading that truck beyond its capabilities, beyond what you agree to do. You don't know what you're talking about. So I can imagine it's the same thing, and your problem there is the same kind of thing. Drivers have been lied to by recruiters for since there's been trucking, and so they figure you're lying too. So you have to fight off all the lies of all these other people. Mike Nicoletta, I agree with the regular start time plus regular time off, so you can enjoy personal life. It does turn into a grind some week, but there's always the end, you can look forward to. That's true, like the light at the end of the tunnel. But a regular start time, it keeps you more awake. It keeps you safer, I think. When you're paying a mortgage and you have to pay for parking to be able to sleep, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Hunsley, it depends. If your company pays it, even if it's $30, which is super high, then your company pays it. But if you had to pay it, 30, I can't imagine 30 nights, $200 a week, 10 grand. That's pretty good for a public school. 1099 is better if you're single and you have a good accountant. Not for me, right. Enjoy paying for your health insurance. Here, when my AC was out last summer, I stayed at a couple $30 hotels. Those hot tub scenes get pretty interesting. Yeah. I can't imagine staying at a $30 hotel. I just can't, I don't know. I mean, where'd you even find a $30 hotel? Even the hotels that, like Western Express uses, like $34 a night. I'm still seeing sell it on trucks that haven't been recovered. Past one parked to the back of a truck stop. They're going to auction them in a month or two. Maybe that's a good screener question for basic math aptitude. Oh, that's correct. Drivers give up the right on the usage of the video of driver-facing cameras. Yes, the company can use the video any way they want. Could end up on America's Funniest Video or some blooper reel. I guess they could. The company owns the video. I don't know if they could put it on America's Funniest Videos. Maybe. The video could certainly be used against you in a lawsuit by somebody else and against the company. That's what always surprises me. That video can be used against the company. There must be more benefit to them than that. I used to park at a Walmart on 75 in Wapakoneta. Great parking site and trucks are allowed. No booting there. Mike, if you don't want, from GP Transco, if you don't want health benefits and retirement and have a magical way to pay less tax, but it usually works against the driver's interest. I'm agreement on that. Kelly, 4 driver-facing cameras, glue a small mirror, then drive naked from the waist down and see if they want to keep the camera. Wow, that's a lot of work, but it could be worth it. Driver camera footage will never get the company into any more trouble. It's always assumed the driver's at fault, so it can't get a whole lot worse. Well, here it's easy proof. Hey, your driver was sleeping, and here's your own footage showing him, sleeping for 6 seconds before the accident or whatever. I don't think it would help the company at all. Disabled vets fit in that category. Medical and 50 to 75 pension. 401k enriches brokers. Better returns investing on your own. Maybe. I'm not a fan of it. You don't get any of the other benefits. Plus, you're misclassified. It's not allowed. It's actually not allowed. If you are an employee, you have to be an employee. Carriers don't usually have time, resources, or interest in watching drivers just for fun. It's purely when a harsh event. Oh, I'm sure they don't just sit there and watch people all day. You wouldn't have time. Could it? But, could they? I guess they could. There could be, theoretically, in some far-off place, it could be used by somebody to get you fired or whatever. But generally, no. They don't have time to watch all that. They got enough stuff coming in as it is. But I'm saying that the videos could be used against the company in an accident. Rodney, good show. Watch from the beginning. Just found time to finally join on the chats. Good. Hats off for all the information. Old school here. Well, another one. Thank you. Then you remember the Jeffersons also. The light at the end of the tunnel is usually an oncoming train. Yeah, don't... you're waiting for the end of what? The end should be the end of that day. Werner lied so hard to you. Right. They said home daily, manual, Freightliner, and Family Dollar. Got 3 weeks out, 4 days home, and auto, and on Kenworth on Dollar General. And so then you're not there right now. And they're like, wow, I wonder why drivers quit all the time. James Dean Anderson stayed at some $40 motels that looked like 1976, but still beat the Motel 6. I stayed on a recent trip to Knoxville. Wow. $40 hotel. Nice. Do you have to wear the coronavirus biohazard suit for that? GPU get a hot girl in the truck and board dispatcher. That's not cruel. I don't know but how any of that works, certainly. I was not on the Armory or National Guard grounds. I was outside the gate in a private parking lot with nobody in it on a Sunday. Oh, all right. I'm like, can you just drive up to the National Guard? You're like on the edge of the runway or whatever. Drivers get mad when we tell them we can't promise home every weekend. We tell them we would rather be honest and not set unrealistic. We're an over-the-road company. Yeah, whatever the road is at the company, they should say you're out a week, you're out 3 weeks, you're out 6 weeks. Then drivers know. But to tell somebody they're home sooner than they're going to be, they're going to leave. You're way better off being honest about it. And certainly you probably find that too. Drivers are more likely to stay then. Dedicated route allows you to find out all this stuff. That's correct. Stop it. You're big enough. You have to be self-insured. Defend the cameras intelligently. Defend the camera intelligently. I don't like the camera. It's self-insured is very expensive. I looked into it. It's $1,856 a month for the insurance plan, the health insurance plan that I have at work. So, which costs me a couple of $100 a month. And we use it all the time. The wife's about to get surgery. That's probably looking at $40,000 of surgery that she'll have, plus physical therapy and stuff. All that's going to be pretty much covered. I think I'm going to have a $100 deductible on it. So and also workman's comp, you don't have any of this stuff, unemployment, and it's illegal. You're not allowed to misclassify people. You're defrauding the IRS, basically. Club started preventing accidents. A harsh event triggers the camera. We can see if a driver is staring at his phone instead of the road. I know. I mean, it does. I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather sleep on a bench at a Petro than stay at a $40 hotel. It would seem like it'd be safer. I cannot imagine. Are there $40 hotels around still? I mean, that is really something. This means that you can have many times prevent accidents. It keeps the drivers around them safe. That's true. I still wouldn't do it for 2 cents. It would be $1 mile. I wouldn't do it. I was new, very inexperienced, and they hurt you so bad you cried. Thank you. Thanks, Al Johns. But look, you got out of there, right? And Werner, why would they do that? Why would you tell somebody they're going to be home every day and then keep them out? They're not going to stay. It doesn't benefit the company in any way. It must benefit the recruiter. They must get paid per driver or something. And so then they'll just get you in however they want. It certainly can't benefit the company. It cannot benefit the company. And no company. I'm always surprised that any company lies to you about stuff. I've been driving for 30 years without a camera. I agree. And that is part of my argument about it too. Micromanagement, the death of you. I agree. And that's always my argument. Look, I managed all this time with nobody watching me. I don't even have a ticket. So somehow I've managed all this time without somebody watching me. I'm not a fan of them. I think they're coming everywhere though. Any larger place is going to have them. Home on weekend means 34-hour restart and 34 hours you get service failure. Oh, home on weekend is usually Saturday morning until Sunday evening. That's your weekend home. That's crazy. That's not a weekend home. Roger Penske, in an 18-wheeler accident, it's assumed the driver was at fault. Why do you drive drunk and sleep anyway? That's true. We've seen many cases where a very experienced no accident driver gets in an accident because of distracted driving. GP Transco. Yeah, drivers that are not concerned about safety, that is certainly a thing. You know what I think about every day, really, and this is true, is that if I got an accident or a ticket now, I can never regain my record because that's all you can really stand on is your record. So this here in a couple months will be 32 years. If I get a ticket now, I'm not going to get 32 more years out of me. I mean, look at me, for God's sakes. But I'm not going to be driving 32 more years. That's it. That's my chance to get to 4 million, 5 million miles, or whatever I eventually get to. I can't regain that. So for me, safety is very important to me. And I take a route, that has less traffic and that just for that kind of reason. And I'm very observant of this stuff. Maybe, and I'm not saying I'm better than people. Everybody can be that way. But it bothers me that it would affect my record. And so I'm going to be out there and be a safe driver all the time. And I get all the sleep that I need. I don't set an alarm at all. I get up whenever I wake up so that I make sure I've had enough sleep. Unlike so many drivers, we have drivers on really long runs. And then they go home and they do 4 more hours of stuff with their kids and sleep 3 hours and then come to work the next day. You shouldn't do that. You should not do that. I had a 3-month break in driver time to get a surgery. I'm coming up on 12 months of driving experience, but I had a 3-month break. Can I still come on? Oh, that's an interesting question. So do you have a year or do you have 9 months? Personally, I've got 27 years, no accidents, most dangerous route in North America. State rodeo champion. I never drive for a driver facing camera. Yeah, I mean, I don't want a camera. I don't think I need a camera. The ironic thing at most of these companies, not everyone, but a lot of them, the person talking to you about what you're doing doesn't have a license. They're legally prohibited from doing your job. That's what I don't like about it the most. Somebody that can't do my job is going to come in and watch 10 seconds of what I did and say, here's what you did wrong. I don't think so. I would say save it. Save it. There's plenty of data to show that numerous prevented accidents as well as the ability to evaluate a situation and not terminate a driver. It doesn't work that way. Maybe it does at GP Transco. But at a lot of these companies that use the cameras, people are terminated. I get the letters all the time. Constantly get them. Hey, here, one video, I'm fired. Okay, so that isn't how, maybe there it does, but overall in the industry, that's not how the videos are being used. They're being used totally just against the driver. Not to coach a driver and say, hey, here's what you did wrong. You're fired. That's what they're saying. I stayed at the Econo Lodge in Effingham last summer. It was $36 a night. Cash is king. Well, I got to tell you, that's really a low amount of money for a motel, and I probably wouldn't be in for that. You're mitigating personal privacy. It's not cool. Yeah, I don't like them. I'm not a fan. Well, no, people always have the right to privacy. You can always choose where you work. Exit 265 in Atlanta at Lissa, Iowa is where I preferred to stop when I was in Iowa. Better than the Iowa 80. Really? What could be better than the world's largest truck stop? There's a truck inside. I have a year total driving experience, 15 months. Okay, so you've got your year in, so you're all set. YRC stock is cheaper than a roller wiener. Well, at 11 a.m. today, here's my stock update. Yellow YRC was $1.64. Last week, they were $1.99. That was 11 a.m. USX, US Express, $3.53 today and $4.14 last week. Roadrunner, my favorite company, 712 today, 739 last week. I would say yellow. I mean, they're in danger of being delisted. Their stock is so low. And Pam, I looked up Pam today. 32.24 at 11 in the morning. And last week, $40.31. That's incredible. I mean, they've lost $8, 20% of their value in a week. In a week. Couldn't happen to a better place over there at Pam either. Technology is great, but instead of driver-facing cameras giving a CB that hollow is faster than pokey. Emergency breaker, back or down. Holy mackerel. The camera with that, my company uses talks to you when you're going too fast. What does it say? And what's the speed? Usually there's an amount over the limit that it says. What does it say to you? And is it the creepy Stephen Hawking voice? I just bought a weighted blanket to help get better sleep. That's interesting. I think I've thought of those, but I have a cat. After working on a truck driver schedule, I've developed a pattern where I can only sleep 3 or 4 hours at a time. Yeah, get a cat. That always works. Something like this. Get that and have that lay on you. That'll get you a good night's sleep. I've heard the weighted blankets work, though. Never used one. The same schedule will help, and no alarm. Don't ever set an alarm. If you are waking up with an alarm, you're not getting enough sleep. The $30 hotel probably has cameras in them also. Oh, there's probably a camera in that hotel, too. But that one doesn't go off. That one's on working all the time. What's USA Truck at? They were bottoming out a year ago. I don't know. Did I write USA? Yeah, I did. Okay, $490 last week and $413 this week. $413. So they're down from last week. This is 1 week. Looks like it's a good time to buy stocks. Always buy these stocks on sale. So yeah, absolutely. Al John said, Ozark, their safety department used a camera to threaten their drivers. J.B. Hunt didn't, but AAA Cooper does it like you said. If you do something stupid, they call you out on it. Yeah. They should just say, look, here's what you're doing. Cut it out, okay? Not bring it in, you're fired. I get those letters all the time. Hey, Mark, here's a 15-second video. They fired me over this. And it's something stupid. One guy was drinking a drink. They're like, you didn't have both hands on the steering wheel. Like, does everybody drive with both hands on the wheel for all day? Come on. Do they drive their car that way? I doubt it. I doubt it. Not out there a long time. Just wonder how it is now. More than family friendly than the Iowa 80. Well, maybe, probably for a smaller place, certainly. But I mean, you got the truck inside. Let's see. It's if a driver gets in an accident because he was texting and driving and had the cameras enabled, it's on the driver. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Right. Oh, absolutely. The driver chose it. Why would you then text and drive? Which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Why not do all this by voice? You can do all this stuff by voice now. You shouldn't be texting. You shouldn't be doing any of that stuff where you're driving. You should be driving. If you go over 70 miles an hour, like if you're going down a hill, say, please slow down. Please slow down in the Stephen Hawking voice until you go back below 71 miles an hour. What's the truck speed? Then what's the road speed of the truck? How fast can the truck go? 65 probably, right? Christina, I have 5 cats, but only get no more than 2 hours at a time. What's your problem? The 5 cats, I think, is the problem. Do they take a bath next to you? That's what this one was doing last night. She's like, I'll lean up against Mark and take a bath. I sleep about 3 hours when I get home, wake up and see my wife that sleep 4 hours. I've gotten used to it. And that's going to kill you later, I think. A good night's sleep, it's got to be, had. No alarm, get up whenever you wake up. Your driver was texting, it could be proven. Yes, I know someone who's gotten roaches in their truck because they had to stay at a shady hotel. Yuck. They just had a guy on the other day that was cleaning bed bugs out of a Uber car. That's his job now. He goes and takes Ubers and cleans bed bugs. Mob and can't drive a 13 speed with 2 hands on the wheel. Yeah, what if you're shifting? Although this guy was taking a drink. That's not great. My company based in Indy, 31% W-2 reefer, 2 weeks paid vacation at a year, 75. That's better, right? No camera, no lane departure, right? Which you can turn off. Nothing that beeps and whistles, and a 2020 Cascadian home every other week. That's not bad. You seem to be at a good place. I don't know about the percentage. I'm always nervous about that because because if the rates go down like they're going down possibly right now, you get a reduction in pay. So maybe if you had a base on that or something, but I'm always just nervous about the percentage, right? They do take baths on me and against me. Yes, that's part of the problem, right? And all night. They're like, oh, I think I'll do this all night. A good night's sleep is hard to get as a team driver. It takes a lot of practice. Let's see. I do not get paid from any company on the channel. I don't. A good night's sleep is hard to get. What's up with the new hours of service? So hours of service. Okay. Hours of service have been changed, but we don't know what they're going to be because the hours of service went to the Office of Management and Budget. That means 90 days from last week. Jim Mullen, I keep saying that. Is that his name? The acting director of the FMCSA said, okay, we put it over there, but we're not going to tell you what it is, but both sides probably won't completely like it. That's all he'll say. What did they change? We don't know, but we're going to know within 90 days because they had earlier said that, hey, we're not going to tell people to the election. No, now we're going to know within the 90 days, certainly. Hopefully, but they can't extend it. So, like Cassius King Truckee said, maybe 90 days? It's supposed to be 90 days. Let's put it like that. But you know how the government works on some of this stuff. I was busy delivering a load of acetone. Oh, that Sierra England driver caught on my dash cam is on my YouTube channel. That's pretty good. Did he sign a something to be on your dash cam? That's pretty good. So that's the Red Monkey Trucking. That's the deal with the hours of service that we are currently going to know within 90 days. We hope. Not sure. Fuel gauge went from full to empty in 100 miles. Well, with that big, high horsepower truck, that's what happens over there. Yours yells vehicle overspeed in a nasty female voice if I hit 75. Really? Can you change the voice like you can change the voice on Google Maps? Because I can change the voice on Google Maps to a different voice. Can you at least change the speed? And is it doing anything? Does it film you when it does that? Or does it just say, hey, you're going too fast, cut it out? I just hauled a load that paid $1.44 a mile for 482 miles as a company guy. Almost $700 for a day and a half work. Percentage is much better as a 17-and-a-half-year driver. That's look, people like it. I don't like it. I'm just not one to like it because I see companies out take loads for 80 cents a mile. Okay, so if you're getting 30%, you get 24 cents a mile. So you can't, because you can't control that end of it, your pay is determined by the rates. Could you make more money? Yes. But on a guarantee, you might make more money. On a guarantee, it depends. It depends on what part of the industry you're in. For me, no. But I say, yeah, some people do it. Some people make a good living on it or whatever. For me, I want just a regular rate and a guarantee. That's what I want. I've been having trouble finding a job. I have a clean record, no accidents. When I was off work for 7 months, do you have any suggestions? Oh, wow. But you're off work for 7 months. That's a problem. Once you get out of work, you have a tough time getting a job. Does anybody have a company that would maybe hire somebody who's 7 months? You might have to go with a trainer. You might. I'm telling you, you might have to go with a trainer. Maybe. Or get a refresher. Canadian drivers are cheating the ELD. How are they cheating the ELD in Canada? Are they doing it in metric? I don't have any cameras in my truck either. And yes, I'm a company driver. No, not for rural wiener. Okay. Cassius King Trucking. I sleep well until I have to wake up at midnight to make 3 deliveries before sunrise. Yes. Of your 12 deliveries. Plus, at your $34, $36 Econo Lodge, you basically have to be up every 30 minutes to make sure, do a walk around the perimeter. I work for... Mark, hello, everyone. Hello. I work for a large mega carrier, and I could be wrong, but I think if you put the entire safety department together in one room, you would not even have 1 week of CDL experience. At most places, Jeanette, right? That's right. Many of them have people that are just college graduates. College graduates. That's it. They don't have anything else but college graduates in there. Some have students or some have drivers, but most of them don't. Trucker Hershey, back to orientation. All right. Well, let us know how it goes. What did you get for lunch? You never said. Oh, pizza. That's right. Oh, and you're not forced dispatch. So drivers can say, look, I don't want to go to New York City or whatever. Cassius King, on ways you can use your own voice for navigation, but you just have to record the words that tells you to record. Really? That'd be kind of creepy. Telling yourself that. I have a female English accent on those because I think it sounds classier when you're being told where to turn or whatever. It doesn't sound like it's so urgent. Like it's just classy, like you're going for crumpets or whatever. That's what I use on there. I like it better. Can't wait to see what they uncover with the ELD fraud they're talking about. You heard anything on this subject? No. What other than I think companies scam it. Some companies scam it by drivers creeping around or whatever, and companies could take care of that. They don't. I've always thought when you hit the brakes, right, you're driving. So I-65 pays either 60 or 30%, whatever's greatest. I recorded my own voice as navigation on Waze, and I threw in a bunch of compliments. My wife couldn't figure out what was going on. The GPS kept telling me how awesome I am. Oh, that's pretty good. If you recorded all those, can you sell that back on the platform then? Percentage pay guarantees 100% pay being less than what they really should. I never know what they're actually getting on percentage. You don't really know. Are they taking part of it? I personally would rather have the rate. Okay, this is what you get a mile. I'd really rather it was hourly. But this is what you get a mile, and here's your base pay as a base salary, nothing less than this. That's the way I would rather do it. A lot of people like percentage, and that's okay with me. Remember time changes with the paper log? ELD makes split graphs really weird. Yeah, that's true. I can't imagine what it's going to look like in the fall here. Getting paid by percentage is tough. It means living at the mercy of the spot market. That's what I'm saying, just like the carrier. It means you'll want to switch back and forth from spot to contract. It's tough. Right. If the rates go down, you, GP Transco, or any company can control that. So if they're picking up stuff on the spot market, that's what the rate is. If it's a really low rate, say they take a low rate just to get out of somewhere because they have to. You can't sit a truck 5 days to wait for an extra dollar amount. It's crazy. So they take $1 to get out of somewhere. Well, heck, you get 30%. That's 30 cents. So for me, I'm out of it that way. James Dean Anderson, my 20 ELD has built-in trucker navigation, shows where restaurants and fuel stations are. Tiny ELD unit on Amazon. That's pretty good. Does it show parking? And it should, what it should show now? Free parking. Not just parking, but free parking. I want Robin Williams' voice doing the Angry Scotsman. Yeah, there are some celebrities on there. You can choose some celebrities. I don't think he's on there. I don't think he is recording anymore. I can't change it. Too bad. The Office gets a video and you can get written up for it. Okay, so not only that, you're getting a video. They take it serious because their tires are only rated for 75. Oh, well, there are not a lot of trucks where tires explode, but I see what they're saying. Jason Hall, I can even pick loads off the DAT board and send them to dispatch. Really? Or call if I catch a good one. Like halfway being an owner-operator. That's not bad. You're like part way, but you get the benefit of a company driver. That's pretty good. I was on the phone with safety and the truck said slow down. The guy laughed. So he's like, hey, what's going on? Being a company driver protects the driver from the ups and downs of the market. It's a decision on whether you want steady pay or okay with taking the risk of uneven pay. Right. And that's what I'm thinking is that as a company driver with a base salary, kind of like GP Transco has a $1,000 a week guarantee. We have a guarantee here. So I know I'm going to make that much money. And even if GP Transco, right, has to get 20 cents a mile every day, they're still going to give me my $1,000. So if you run percentage. So for me, I'm okay with a flat mileage pay. We are sent rate cons. Yeah, you are, Jason. I'm just always worried about it. I guess from years of being lied to by the trucking industry, who knows if they make that up. I could easily whip one of those up now online and send it to you. And I know they're probably not doing that. I don't need it. When you get a mileage amount, you don't get a rate con. And I hear you. People say we get a rate con. It's just not for me. Chad Brooks, your company's paying you on 1099. You're being misclassified because you're not allowed to be paid on 1099 if you're a company driver and you're an employee. It's rampant in the industry. If a driver wants to earn percentage, it would be good to get with a company that has at least 40% of their freight on dedicated contract. Oh, so you can get the rate. Okay. Yeah, maybe percentage on a dedicated wouldn't be bad. You know what you're going to get. Do all the ELFs have a correction status? ELD, you can correct everything except drive time on your ELD. Driving time can't be corrected. So there should be a way to edit, which is what they call it in there, and edit your logs. We held contract mostly. All right, so pretty good. New driver, small pallet company or building materials company. A good way to get your feet wet. A small pallet company. If they control your hours, you're an employee. Yeah, if you're driving their truck, you're an employee. That's the easy way to tell. Are you getting in their truck? Get a truck with a toilet. I haven't used a public bathroom in 20 years. Well, is your toilet all beat up in there like the public bathrooms? If an app showed free parking, that would be awesome. Yeah, there needs to be a way on these apps to show free parking. And be sure to ask the carrier for real statements from the customer to make sure you're paid the real percentage, not a percentage like 90 or something along those lines. How do you ever know you're getting the real statement, I guess? I'm always worried that somebody's made the thing up on Photoshop. We need to inundate the ATA with letters saying that we won't do household goods miles. It's obsolete. And so will over the road. Yeah, there's a few places, even bigger places, that still pay it. It's way past time for that to go. I want Mr. T voice on my nav. Pretend I'm on the A-team. That's great. I want GPS with Gordon Ramsay. There's an English man's voice, but it's not as aggravating as his voice. Thinking of taking out passenger seat and putting a toilet over there. Wow. You could take out, I always thought you could take out the driver's seat and you just like lower it into position. And there you go. Worked with a company that had a real guarantee it was work or get fired. We guarantee you'll be here as long as you come in. I like a base pay. You don't have to worry that the company is having some problem and you're not going to get any money that week. You're like, oh my gosh, my company had a problem. I'm not going to get paid. You don't have to worry about that. You can't edit yard move on or PC. All right, no yard moves. I checked into the shipper going to get loaded almost 3 hours early. That's awesome. Then you can get where you're going and make more money. The problem of getting early, which is probably your place at a lot of places, won't pay you extra. They won't pay you the detention usually until after your load time. So if your load time is noon, you're there at 9, you don't get paid until after, 1 or 2 or however many hours. But if they're going to load you, I'm in. I think you won't have to pay $30 tonight to park, I hope. Can a company be held responsible for misclassifying drivers? Yeah, that's how they get busted. What happens usually is the driver gets injured. Usually is how it works. Sometimes they get fired, but they get injured. And then they go and report it to the state. I've had people do that. They've been injured. They'll write to me and say, hey, Mark, I've been injured, but I'm 1099. I go, well, go tell the state that you've been misclassified if you're driving their truck and let the state take care of it, because that's what the state, all you got to do is fill a form out and say, hey, I'm misclassified here. I'm owed wages for this time. They haven't taken any taxes out, and that starts the whole ball rolling, and it doesn't cost you anything. Rumor has it that all TAs will be paid to park or buy from the store. Yes. Yeah, there was a letter that was sent out about it. Yep. L. John's getting loaded is awesome. Loaded earlier is even more awesome. Yeah, because you're just sitting there. You're already there. Let them load you. I just figured out how to show parking availability in dedicated lots. Oh, that's pretty good. Would that be an air ride toilet seat on the driver's side? Yeah, you would lower your seat into the proper position and you could use it and then it could be aired back up. Alexander, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to be hauling cookies. Years ago, I worked for Keebler. Hauled for Keebler. That place was the best place. I don't know if this is a Keebler load. I would come home with fudge stripes and pecan sandies, all this stuff. They had boxes of them by the docks, and you could just take cases of them with you. And I was looking through there for fudge stripes one time, and the guy's like, I went to these places all the time, and he's like, hey, do you want some? What are you looking for? I said, well, there's no fudge stripes in here. He goes, wait a minute. He goes in the back and gets a case and throws it on the ground. And he goes, well, looks like that case is broken. You can take those. I'm like, this is awesome. So Keebler, I took so many cookies home from that place. What goes great with coronavirus? Lyme disease. Oh, nice. Corona and Lyme. To those who asked about Transport America, they're CFI's sister company. Nothing special. You work here at CFI. All right. Well, would you recommend CFI to other people? Oh, GP Transco. Yeah, if the load's over, there's one way to get rid of that weight at the scale. Tell the guy, well, I'll be here a couple hours. I'll get this done. Trucker Path used to be good, but sold out. What'd they sell out to? You're pre-diabetic, no cookies for Alexander. Dang it. You got to get the diabetic cookies. I think my dad had some of those. Air ride toileting your truck. Well, that kind of puts the letdown on my Keebler story. If you want Transport America, just call CFI. Typical mega carrier, but family feel. Only if they offer you good CPM or great starter. Don't bother me one bit. Yeah, look, if you start, you got to start somewhere. Right? You got to start someplace. Once you get somewhere, stay there a year and then get the heck out if you don't like it. You just got to check engine light on the truck. Well, as long as the second or third one doesn't light up, I think you're okay, right? That truck is not that old at that point. They don't have a bunch of old trucks. So it depends as long as it's running good, holy moly. Keep driving it. That's what you do. Sometimes you call the shop, and the shop is like, oh, it's only one light? Oh, yeah, you're fine. It's fine. I'm like, how do you know it's fine? Oh, don't worry, it's fine. I'm like, okay, send it to me in writing. U-Haul office supplies. You want to be a middle management sucker pinhead. There's plenty of those jobs. When I was an operations manager for a steel distributor, we used to load whenever you showed up. I don't get why some shippers like holding drivers because of appointment time. The most aggravating part probably is you get somewhere and say they put you in a dock. You've been sitting there staring at that dock for 4 hours because you're in their little waiting area or whatever. That dock's been open that whole time. And your stuff is right there. Why can't they just load you? You're already there. What's the deal? Of course, they have no incentive to do anything. Getting an overpriced legacy seat for your toilet. Get one of those Japanese ones that heats up. You're going to mats for the famous CFI cup holder. If they have mats, look at that cup holder. It might have to make another year. They don't know if they're going to cancel mats or not. There's a petition to cancel mats. The Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. And the governor said, hey, don't go to our website. Don't go to the internet. Go to the website. Mats, right now, the people from Matt said it's on. But if things change, they'll let everybody know. So as of right now, it's on. I don't know if it's going to go on. There have been other large gatherings like this around the country that have canceled. And the people from Mid-America said people coming from overseas, some of those people have canceled out of the show already. So if you were there last year, they had the whole row of Chinese places down there. They all canceled, every one of them. And I think they said some of Volvo's display is not going to be there as well. So they couldn't get here. So I don't know. Hershey plan is great. The guard gives you chocolate as you leave. That's true, right, Christina? Hershey, where did I get that the most? Edwardsville, Illinois. Going into Edwardsville, they had a choice there. We would have a thing there, and you could get a choice of the different Hershey products right there. Yep, I remember that, right. Free cookies, now that's a benefit. Yep, that's not bad. And then they didn't care, right? They would just go get you what you wanted and give them to you. Your company refuses to pay you on W-2. I told them I'm an employee. They pay all drivers $10.99. Oh, too bad. They say per diem balance the taxes. Nice. No. You lose all the benefit, like workman's comp and unemployment and all these other things that they're required to pay. It isn't like they don't get a choice in the 1099 thing. They literally don't get a choice. They're misclassifying you because they don't get to choose that when you are an employee. They're required to make you an employee. They just don't. If you ever got injured or whatever, you should go file with the state. There's a form. Every state government has a form that I'm owed wages. I haven't been paid my wages. That's what you need to tell the state. And let the state handle it from there. They'll take it from there. Then say, look, I want workman's comp. I'm an employee here. There'd be no way to get out of being an employee when you're driving their truck. That's not how it works. I don't tell my doctor I'm diabetic. I just tell them I'm naturally sweet. I wish that worked at the physicals, right? Blue Lion, have you got your YouTube plaque? Oh, no way. YouTube plaque's at 100,000 is the first one. So, no. That's many, many years away, if ever. There's only one trucking channel that is at 100,000 that I know of. That's Smart Trucking. There may be other big ones, but I don't know who they are. So they should go. You have to apply for it. They should apply for their plaque if they didn't get it already. They will complain if you're 15 minutes late, but won't accept you 2 hours early. Yes. So you're 2 minutes late. They go, well, we'll have to work you in today. You sit here for 6 hours. But then if you get there 3 hours early, they're like, well, sit over there and wait. Imagine if high-value load companies did this too, like Sony. Dropbox with TV on the ground looks like it's damaged. Oh, yeah. That's something you never want to do. When I was hauling VCRs around, you didn't want to do that with them. But yeah, the cookie guy, man, that guy would just go get you whatever you want. Sony, I'd be like, wait a minute. Is Samsara a good substitute for ELDs? My company I work for uses it, and they manipulate it all the time. Well, How are they manipulating it? And I don't know about all the different ELD manufacturers. I'm a company driver, and so I don't get to test them out. A number of them have written to me, would you test our ELD? No, I can't do that. I'm a company driver, so I don't have many products on here anyway. But either way, I don't know. Does anybody use it on here? And what are they doing to it? If your truck doesn't have a bidet, is it even worth driving? Oh my God. It's funny because I've had this conversation with the wife many times that when we move, that the next place is going to have a bidet, and she just can't believe it. And I'm like, look, this is the kind of thing you get at the $34 Econo Lodge, and I want that for my house. You don't know how classy it classes the place up. You know, I love CFI. They don't bother you. Make 7, 8, or 1,000 a week. Varies. Hours of service not good. Home time no problem. If you have off days, I just made a year and moving on, as you say, over the road isn't worth it. Yeah, I mean, it can be. Look, some people do good at it. For me, it isn't anymore. But if you've got your year, you can certainly go anywhere you want. But it gave you your year of experience. Just got in. Why would they cancel mats? Because of the coronavirus? Yeah, there's a petition to cancel mats. That is correct. There's a petition right now to cancel. And Matt said, as of right now, it is not, but they actually said, we are, keeping an eye on everything and we'll update everybody if anything changes. So other big gatherings have been canceled. This one is not yet. But it's possible. It's only 2.5 weeks away. It's only 2.5 weeks to match. So I got to believe that if they're going to cancel this, I mean, people are going to be pretty mad about it. So they need to cancel it soon if they're going to do it. It is possible. It's possible. March 26th to 28th. It's $10 to get in now. I hope you already have your ticket. Tickets at the door or online are $10. Aviator trucker, when you're overweight when you sit in the toilet and your skin touches the ground. Yikes. Yikes. We had appointment times. I don't care. As long as you got there before closing, I loaded them. Yeah, look, the thing is about an appointment time, they should honor it then. If you're there at 8, why aren't you being loaded at 8 o'clock? Oh, well, we're running behind. Well, why have an appointment then? Because they appoint, or all the appointments are at 6 a.m. Everybody's there at the same time. Then they're mad at everybody. Kim English, the Oscar Mayer Roller Wiener Convention, April 4th to 8th has been canceled. Dang it. Dang it. How can that be? Their wieners are infected. Got to plumb my toilet through the DPF to limit emissions. That's one way to get rid of everything. Wrigley Gum in Chicago always gives free gum, 35th and Ashland. Oh, I've never picked up at Wrigley's up there. Never picked gum up there. Alexandra, where I just lost my spot here somewhere. I do this all the time for people. There it is. Someone airdropped me roller wieners and coffee. I'm getting hungry. If they're going to hold, well, at least they're loading you. You'll be out of there soon and can get one right down the street somewhere. There's a few with over 100,000. I guess Smart Trucking is the only one I've seen at over 100,000. Okay, Trucker Josh, they're saying it's close to 100,000. All right, so he'll get his plaque, which you have to apply for. Tell him to go in his, it's in the settings somewhere. You have to actually apply for it. I love the Wacky Canadian A. That's awesome. Oliver 2 has 116,000. All right. Did he get his plaque? He or she? I don't know who that is. I've never seen that one. Wrigley's in Chicago is nice. Tons of free candles, Skittles all day. Oh, man. I can taste the rainbow. JBG Travels has 100,000. Oh, there's all these channels. All right. I didn't realize that. Did they get their plaque? Never went to Edwardsville, Illinois plant. Was there at Hershey? Yeah, Hershey. I would never get anything at Hershey. But those loads, a lot of them went to Edwardsville, Illinois. And the Edwardsville guy would hand you candy in that place. I sneezed and roller wiener went all over the windshield. Well, at least it was good. Irlanda Sanchez has 300,000 on her channel. I've never heard of that channel either. I used to have some, sorry, you can't edit it like a paper log. Well, you can't edit everything in a log. Big Nate Jobber, I talked to a few Russian 1099 trucking companies outside Chicago, presumably. They told me I got to get an LLC or a corporation so I could show the IRS I'm a subcontractor. So they kind of want to do it legally. But you're still driving their truck. I still don't think it's legit. That way. You'd have to talk to like a CPA about that. There's no way you should go get an LLC to drive somebody's truck. Just to go become a company driver. Big Nate Jobber, we just say watch out for companies that do that. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that is a lot of work when you could just become, in tons of companies in Chicago area, just have you be a company driver like you're supposed to. This sounds like a lot of work. An LLC, I mean, you're going to file a corporation, you're going to all that, taxes and everything, forget that. Samsara can be manipulated by the company. There's been times when I ran out of time. My company erases your drive time and gives you a fresh 70. Congratulations, you have more hours. My company is Russian owned. That's okay if they're Russian owned. There's a lot of Eastern European, not all Russian, companies in the Chicago area for some reason. And a lot of them run these 1099 ads. And it's not legit. There's a lot of 1099s, but they're just not legit. If you're driving somebody's truck, you're an employee. Just because they're Russian owned doesn't mean that they're not being legit. But for some reason, there's like a congregation of them. What is a group of Russian trucking companies? Is it, it's not a congregation. I'm not sure what the word is for it. Amy, it's just a cold and flu virus. I know, but there have been other large gatherings canceled, and there's actually a petition to cancel it. So we'll see what happens. There's like a couple of cases in Kentucky. The governor said, 4 or 5 cases in the state that they're monitoring. And now people want to cancel the truck show because drivers come in from everywhere and then disperse. That was the nice word. We disperse to everywhere, like just flocks of birds. We just go in all different directions. Companies that have no issue with breaking rules or laws for the benefit of the driver often don't have an issue breaking rules that will go against the driver. That's true. So that's a very good point. A company that is willing to do that, are you going to get paid on time? Is there going to be a pay problem? What else are they doing? The trucks aren't fixed. I mean, who knows? Your logs aren't legit. And they're going to say, and they're going to wipe their hands of everything. Believe me, because they're going to say, well, that's an LLC. You go talk to that person about it. Or Lord, I can't believe these companies are not only ripping off drivers, but putting them at risk to lose their licenses. Yeah, that's true. We see this in all kinds of trucking companies regarding the nationality of the owners or anything else. That's true. A lot of them can do that. There's just a conglomeration of Russian-owned, Eastern European-owned companies that seem to congregate around Chicago. Probably because the laws or whatever there. I don't know. There's a large Polish population there because I always go to Pierogi Fest in East Chicago, Indiana to get my fill of pierogi. So which is later in the fall. And so there's that. But yeah, it's all over the country, like this other person who's 1099 at their place too, that will only pay 1099. Yeah, it isn't right. And they're the ones eventually they're going to have to eat that. We use, let's see, Matt's kills the rates in Louisville for the week to many trucks in one location. I never go to the show. Oh, that's true. I never thought about that because all the trucks need a load back out of there. So it's 40 cents to get out of Louisville. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Al Johns is close to 2 subscribers. Well, hey, it doubles every day that way. We use Samsara, always updating and adding features, but it has issues like all the ELDs. You like PeopleNet better? I get a lot of complaints about PeopleNet. Scale have wheelchair-sized porta potties. Why? Are there drivers actually getting in and out of their cab using a wheelchair? They're drivers that park in handicap spots that have the handicap hanger for their semi. How will you drive a truck? My wife unsubscribed. I understand she hears me play guitar all the time. Oh, well, it could have been 3. Oh, GP Transco uses Samsara. All right, we're actually one of their first users and companies that submit requests for features and changes. Yeah, as long as they do them. Private carrier is the way to go. I don't deal with half the problems I hear people talking about. That seems to be a lot of the deal, too. General freight seems to be the hardest way to make money in the industry. A general freight hauler. A private carrier hauling your own stuff, or dedicated run at a general freight hauler. A dedicated regular run, one customer, cuts a ton of problems out of your life. You don't have to figure out parking. You don't have to figure out fueling, all that stuff. Is an underwelder welder classified as a subcontractor? Oh, very nice. Very nice. The puns start before 3 p.m. You're the kitty Ling. You're the man. Keep fighting for the drivers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Company needs to pay payroll taxes. They leave you as a driver to pay those taxes on 1099. That's correct. Except they're misclassifying you. They don't get to do that. They just don't get to do it. Creepy Joe. Night Swift requires 6 months experience driving to be seated solo. Wow. Anything under 6 months, you have to do 6 weeks training with a trainer. Well, there's your choice at 6 months to go in there. 6 months to get seated in your own truck. I had a guy come up to my truck and ask if I was on 1099. I told him, no, I'm a company driver. Why would you ask me that? Who goes around asking that? Where's the Truckers Against 1099ing group for that kind of thing? You can't manipulate the time. Samsara is completely legit and straight up ELD. From what we know after using them, they are one of the best ELD providers by far. Okay, I'll say this. I've gotten tons of letters, and I've seen it even where I work here. Not on my route. As you know, I don't work probably as much as most people on the channel do. But what they'll have drivers do that are coming back sometimes, if they don't have somebody to go get you, is they would have people sign out, and then that unidentified drive time is just assigned to somebody else. And that gets the loads finished. And that's how companies can manipulate the ELD and still get work done. The driver shouldn't do it, okay? And neither should the company. So I don't know what they can do to manipulate and give you 70 hours. There's probably something they can do in there, I would think, from the back end. Some way to show something different than what there is. Any electronic thing, there's always some way somebody has figured out to take advantage of it. One of those Kentucky coronavirus cases is a Walmart employee. Christina, oh, great. All the drivers parked getting booted out there. Coronavirus update. All TMC drivers must use Clorox wipes to clean the ridges of their floor mats. We don't want any coronavirus in the ridges. Do they test the truck? Over there, they probably test the trucks for it. Seattle, Washington has a lot of Russian-owned companies. Yeah, I don't know about. Maybe that's true. But are they 1099? For some reason, Chicago is the black hole of 1099. Every 50% of the companies are paying 1099 in the Chicago area. They don't care. They just shut down and open up under new numbers. That happens. There'll be the Russian mafia in Seattle. That sounds worse. Amy, there are 8 cases in Colorado. I live in Wyoming. Colorado is panicking. In Wyoming, we're just chilling and not worrying about it. Yeah, there's a few cases in Indiana, and the stores are cleaned out of all the hand sanitizers and a lot of the toilet paper. Blue Lion, I drive an owner-operator's truck and make him money. Do I need to go to the state? Well, if you're an employee, if you're driving somebody's truck, you are an employee. Simple. You're a company driver. He hired you. You're an employee of that person. As a company driver, are you supposed to be taxing your check in the state that your company is located in, or are you supposed to get taxed on the state your CDL is in? Well, that's a good question. Maybe GP Transco has a better answer on that. On can they tax you in a different state? How does that work? Because you hire people from all over the country, but you don't have a terminal in every state. So if somebody lives somewhere else other than where your terminal is, how does that work for taxes? TMC can't catch the coronavirus. Their trucks are too slow. That's very good. Alexander, I still want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know what direction to go in. Hey, just get started. What is your passion, right? It's Motivation Monday. What is your purpose here? What are you supposed to do? Is it drive? I mean, what is your bigger purpose? Everybody's put here to do something. You can't just do nothing. You're put here to do something big, bigger than yourself, bigger than everything. Think big. If you're going to think anyway, think big and get started immediately. Start right away. Get the first video out there, and you can always change direction as you get a few videos and go on. But at least once you get started, then you get the ball rolling. So what is your purpose? What are you meant to do? That'd be a good name of a book. Cash King says you're taxing your state of residence. They run their company like a boot camp anyway. You're too bad for that. I'm scared of the GP Transco boot camp. I didn't know it was orientation boot camp. Happy 73. Who do I work for? I never say who I work for. For new people on the channel, that keeps them out of my videos, so that they don't have a way into my videos. I also don't recruit for them. Keep them out of that. So many people out here recruiting for their company. I don't do any of that stuff. So I think that keeps it cleaner that way. You are by default taxed by the state the company is in. If you want to be taxed by the state where your home is, you need to let your company know, and they will send you the paperwork. All right, GP Transco, thank you for that. I was wondering how that worked if you live somewhere else from where the company is. Should file a lawsuit against companies that force driver on 1099. Well, nobody forces you, I guess, theoretically on it, but because you don't have to do it. But as soon as they give you the 1099, you can report them immediately and say, hey, I'm not an employee here. They won't take my tax. They won't withhold taxes. States don't like when taxes aren't withheld. That's when you can tell the state that. They're not giving you the money that you're owed in the state. They're all about that stuff. Every state has it on the internet. You can go to the state's Department of Unemployment usually. There's a wage and hour division, something about wages on there. I'm not being paid my wages. They're not withholding your taxes to the state, right? And this is what's happening here. They love hearing that kind of stuff. Expect to be fired. Expect that they'll fire you for it. Sea Hill, hello all drivers from I-85 from Loves in Georgia. Roller wieners at the Loves, exit 147. All right, roller wieners for everybody. The Walmart employee, the only one running a register, it's that one person in there. See why I say don't go to Walmart? When the coronavirus kills more people than STD, I'll be worried. That's going to be a while. We're only up to like double digits or something in the United States. If you work for a Russian trucking company, does that make your dispatcher a Russian agent? It's very good. Work for a company and was taxed based on your state of residence, not the state the terminal is located in. Well, what they've said is you have to let them know. Driver, home state is taxed. Well, couldn't you, look, so you get taxed on, say, like Illinois, but I live in Indiana. Can I file with Illinois and say I'm not a resident, get that money back, theoretically, and then file with Indiana and say I should have been taxed here? It seems like you could do that way. Comfortable man, I'd say your taxes would be tied to your physical address. It would seem that way. But what if the company doesn't have an address in your state? Christine, I do not understand something. What does toilet paper have to do with the coronavirus? Why are people wanting toilet paper? I don't know. I wondered that too. I mean, what did people do? I always think, did they just shower curtain it? I mean, because that's what you do at your friend's house or whatever when you run out of toilet paper over there. But why do people want so much toilet paper? I get the hand sanitizer. People are finally washing their hands. I've seen the shelves, though, the same thing you've seen out there. They're out of toilet paper. What is going on? They're like, oh my gosh, it's a virus. We better get some toilet paper. That's why I moved to Texas. California is killing you with taxes. A lot of people did that. Is Texas one of the states without a state income tax? Drivers that do 1099 usually have messed up records and have no choice. Oh, no way. I get tons of letters from people that love 1099 and explain to me how stupid I am. So there's tons of people that only would work that way. Apparently, I was put here today to exploit the shipping clerk's terrible mood. Amos, well, we got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, as the memes always say. We don't know what they're going through in life or what the last 10 drivers, how they treated that person in life. So put your best foot forward out there and see what happens, right? Alexander, I moved back to Indiana from Illinois because of the same tax reason. Screw high taxes. Exactly. Illinois has some tough tax rates. Well, Bill, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Corey, do you recommend working for a company that has a camera in their truck? I wouldn't start at a company that has a mandatory camera. If you're already somewhere and they put a camera in, that's a different story, because then you have to decide. Changing jobs is a hassle, and you'll see how they deal with it. If you start getting camera things, so you're going to have to quit because they'll fire you for safety violations, and you don't want that. So I think it's two different things. I do always tell people to ask companies. It's in the questions that I have there. Ask them if they have a camera. If it's mandatory, I would be out on it. But quitting a place is a different story. You may have been there, you might like it, and they don't bother you about it. Some guy, I still always remember this, from Martin Brower, wrote to me. He was making like $100,000, home every day. He said they put cameras in, but they don't give him any grief about it. It's never given him any problems, so he's staying. So, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. Taxes are collected and reported to the state you live in. Most states recognize income from an employer in another state. You do not file a state return for the employer's location. All right. I think wouldn't TurboTax handle all this? Okay, that's what I thought. Well, doggies, I live in Texas, no income, state income tax. That saves you at what, 3.4, 3.5% in Indiana? I drive reefer and looking forward to hauling Clorox, toilet paper, and hand sanitizers and Lysol. You're going to need it. Meyer was out of hand sanitizer yesterday. Alexander, I ordered hot wings from Buffalo Wild Wings using Uber Eats. I've ordered Firehouse subs from Uber Eats, and it's worked out pretty good. Although the person that came to the door is not the person in the app. So I thought, wow, this Uber driver is really risking that. If I'd have reported that, they'd be fired for that. It was a different car, too. So they're not even using the right car. So that's a big risk. But yeah, I've ordered, not on the road, but I've ordered Firehouse subs from them. Worked out good. The problem is you're going to get loaded and have to leave, and they're not going to bring you your wings are going to be late. How does the hourly pay work in home time at GP Transco? All right, I'm not getting any benefits like 401k. I'm a company driver making 1099. That's correct. You don't get any benefits under 1099 because you're an independent contractor. So no benefits, no health care, no retirement, no unemployment, no workman's compensation, no nothing. I live in Arizona, but I'm taxed in Illinois, and it disappeared. Toilet paper is being converted to crappy masks. Oh, really? Why don't people just buy masks? Scaring the scar out of everybody? In Chicago, most cartage companies are Irish. Most construction companies are Italian, and most trash haulers are Dutch. Okay? I don't know. How would you haul trash with those wooden shoes, though? We do not pay hourly. We pay by the mile. Correct. Company drivers earn $77.87 a year. 1 day home for each week out. And a paid vacation and paid holidays. And apparently boot camp. North Dakota has no state tax. I never had to let a company know. They've always texted me based on residence. Okay. Taxed you. If you file lawsuits against your company, no other company will hire because they're afraid you'll file lawsuits. I don't know. Maybe, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to have to file a lawsuit. Have the state get your money. Going getting a lawyer is going to be thousands of dollars, it would seem like. Ask the state. There's forms that the state puts out on the website for anybody to use. You can go on there and fill the forms out and say, this is what's happening here. Just tell the state the truth. This is what I'm doing. This is what's happening, and I'm being misclassified, I believe, and let the state handle it for you. I don't think filing a lawsuit, how long is that going to take? So it's Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming don't have a state tax. Oh, that's why we live in Wyoming up there. Doomsday preppers say never run out of toilet paper and water, and they're right. Now they're right. The lawsuit is not really just, and the driver does have to settle, despite being in the wrong. Carriers might not like it. I'm sure. Any carrier that would see that probably wouldn't like it, and I can certainly see why. The last I knew in Indiana and Illinois, since they're neighboring states, they share, so your taxes go to Indiana. Same with Kentucky, that used to be. I don't know. I've lived here so long, I haven't had to cross the border for taxes for a while. When I lived in Hammond, I worked in Chicago. If it's a legit lawsuit and the driver was wrong by the carrier, many carriers will respect it and not care. All right. What's the new hours of service update? Well, Jim Mullen, who is the current acting head of the FMCSA, I've said his name enough, and I think that's right, has put the hours of service forward to the Office of Management and Budget, meaning it took its next step. They weren't supposed to do that this year. They did. Now the Office of Management and Budget, the OMB, has 90 days to respond, and they can extend it even though they're not supposed to. And he refused to say what they were, which I love. They asked him, what are they? I can't say. But both sides probably won't like them completely. So anybody that says they know, he didn't say. He didn't say a word about it. So we don't know if you're going to get 16 hours, if it's going to go to 8 hours of driving. We have no idea what he's going to do. As soon as the OMB comes back with that, I'll be out with it immediately. Did you guys hear about that guy that bought 9,200 rolls of toilet paper and still got coronavirus? Wow. Most drivers who use a truck stop restroom are naturally immune to coronavirus. I think if you can go do that in the bathroom there, then yeah, absolutely. Got the wife going to Costco and Walmart, buying up everything virus related, sell on eBay. I wonder if there's anybody doing that, selling hand sanitizer. That's not a bad idea. Sometimes Uber drivers steal food deliveries from other Uber drivers. I don't know how that works, but they didn't steal it. They gave me my food. So what is the benefit to them? I mean, it was the person who got the food, because on the Uber Eats app, just like on Uber, you track the car and you watch the car drive, and I watched them drive in here. And then I go out, but it's a different car, and the person coming up is a different person. It was like some big dude and some small woman came up with the food. You cannot do that at Uber. It must be the person on the app, and it must be the car in the app. Okay, and it was a totally different kind of car. So reporting them, that would have been a huge problem. Alexander, this place is small with a single dock. Oh, driver just backed in. I'll be here a hot minute. Oh, okay. I just kind of pictured picking up at some warehouse with like 700 doors or whatever. So, okay, you could see the car coming in. So I'm an independent contractor driving as a company driver making $10.99. I don't know. Should you go to the state? Is there a problem there? You're being misclassified. That's the problem. You are being misclassified. It's as simple as that. You're not an independent contractor. You're an employee. They have to hire you as an employee. You're being hosed out of, benefits and money. The company doesn't have to pay into those benefits that you're entitled to. What else then are they doing wrong? Muneen. Hello, drivers. Just wanted to ask, if you see a rookie trying to back into spot, could you help them instead of taking out your phone and recording? That's true. Don't record. Right. See if they need help. Then sometimes they are like, get out of here. I know what I'm doing. 1099s are good for Section 179 deduction. Got my Ram 3500. What is a Section 179 deduction? It's tax Monday here. Tennessee has no income tax. That's pretty good. eBay bans the sale of hand sanitizer. Why? Why can't you sell hand sanitizer on eBay? We're going to have to go to Craigslist for this and meet somebody in the back of an alley somewhere. Comfortable man, I'll drive 8 to 10 hours a day and then shut it down. If a company doesn't like that, and clean out the truck and go home. You're not a slave. All right. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Always wear a parrot around. Stay legal, right? Where'd it go? Right here. Okay. Always stay legal. Get a blue parrot. Get one today. They'll be at the truck show too. Go talk to them down there if they still have it. Try on some of those headsets that they have there for everybody to try on. What is both sides regarding hours of service? There's really only one side of it, in that the FMCSA has put the hours of service to the Office of Management and Budget. So within 90 days, they are going to say what they are. They won't say right now. Isn't that great? But it moved on. So we should know within 90 days. Have to sell the hand sanitizer on the street. I'll get the kids to go door to door with it. Yeah, give the people one hand sanitizer, and then they'll come back and buy more of it. Tell them, okay, you bought the first one. Here, you get the first one free. And New York City on hardware store selling hand sanitizer for $79. Is that true? Where did you see that? Can we take a Gracie break? There's always time for a Gracie break. Because she's always on break. She's on her 18-hour break. Then she also has several 30-minute breaks throughout her 6-hour workday. Of basically eating and biting me. The real truck drivers go over the road, or does it really? The real truck drivers go over the road, or does it really? What does that mean? You always have to wear your parrot. I had my blue parrot for 3 years, still good as new. You can do your texting and all that by voice. You don't have to touch your phone, do anything. Do everything by voice call, everything. Last night they closed the road to my delivery and blocked it. I had to back up a quarter mile and blindside into a side street to turn around. What are they doing? Hey, this road that you need to go, we're going to go ahead and close it now if you don't mind. You can just back in all the way over here. Has anybody seen this thing on the road? What do you think about this thing? I'm waiting for these things to come around. This is the future. This, I think, is a better future of trucking than Tesla, I think. This is the NIKOLA ONE, which is a hydrogen-fueled electric truck. Similar to the Toyota Mirai. Runs on hydrogen, over 750-mile range, fills up in 10-15 minutes. How about it? It'll hold 80,000 pounds on a 6% grade, 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 torques, limited by the computer, or it could do more. And it has a drive on every axle end, 6 drive axles at each axle end. So each wheel is driven separately from every other wheel set. How about that? I think that's a better deal than an electric truck. They are going to have hydrogen fueling stations all over the country. Does it really matter? Does what matter? I mean, what, over the road, or I don't know. I just don't know where that went. I prefer to record the rookie driver. Last time I tried to help, they wouldn't listen to what I was saying, so he just walked off. Not stepping in, I guess, is one thing also. Ugly. Christina doesn't. You think it's ugly? I mean, and the door is in the middle. You can't see it on here. The door would be in the center of that. The center of it. How about that? If you've never taken a drug test for a company you work for, can they report anything on your deck report? No, certainly not about that. The door's on the other side, and it's in the center of the truck. Behind where the front window is where the door is. What's up with the coronavirus? Did you miss it? No, no way did you miss the coronavirus. I hope not. What are your feelings on the Plantronics Voyager Legend? Blue parrot is the way to go. That's what I will maintain here. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Blue parrot. Oh, there was a fatality. They blocked it for an investigation. Oh, okay, I thought the road was closed. GP Transco, when a driver flies to orientation, we pay for the flight on the first paycheck to avoid drivers getting a free flight and showing up. Have you guys been paid for this in advance? Oh, that's really interesting. So you tell the driver, fly in, you get a ticket, and we'll pay for it. So that the driver shows up. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it. What if a driver doesn't want to do that? Do you pay for... How else does it work then? Do they get gas money, or how does it work? If you're helping a working driver back in and he hits something, could you be held liable? I'm only asking because I know you're a lawyer. Yes. I've always wondered that as well. Since I'm not a lawyer, I would not have a legal opinion on that. So it does seem to me, as a non-lawyer person who's not a lawyer, that if you're assisting, I bet the driver would be like, he's the one that told me to back in or something. That's immediately what the driver's going to do. So you have that side of it also to think about, but I don't know, as I'm not a lawyer. Alexander would drive a hydrogen truck on a heartbeat. That's a nice looking truck. Look, it eliminates everything. You don't have DEF to fill up. You don't have emissions. There's only water comes out of the tailpipe. You can fill it up in the same time you fill up a semi right now. It has a range more than a day's drive on it. No problem. They're going to have hydrogen fueling stations all over the country. And with the extra power and the mileage on it is comparable to 15.4 miles per gallon of diesel. Is how much it burns the hydrogen. So I think that's the way to do it. I think that's way better than an electric truck and sit there for 2 hours filling it up. Red Monkey Trucking. All right, they're talking about, Marissa, about your case. That wheels are in motion, kind of like on this hydrogen truck. Real truck drivers deliver the freight in a safe, efficient, and timely manner. It does not matter what you haul, the truck you drive, or what transmission you have, or what clothes you wear. Kind of matters what clothes you wear. Oh, a little bit. No flip-flops. Looks like an alien. It's kind of weird looking, right? How they can build hydrogen fuel stations all over the country quicker than they can add enough parking? Well, because they're private. And it'll be to fill up the trucks because the lease on this, which it didn't say the price, but the lease on it includes fuel, maintenance, everything. Everything will be included. You don't pay for anything on the truck, including fuel, as long as you go to one of their hydrogen fueling stations. How about that? How would that be in a lease? Hand sanitizer, first squirt is free. Oh, that works out perfect. That's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. You want more? You got to come. You know where I am. I would drive a hydrogen truck as long as it's not made by the Hindenburg company. Yeah, you don't want the old Hindenburg trucks. This new one, this NIKOLA ONE. There's no limit to innovation, but there is a limit to real estate. Oh, that would be a good line. Companies should pay for the plane tickets. I think it's an interesting way to do it. What if the people don't have the money, let's say, for a plane ticket? Not everybody could shell out, $89 on Southwest for a plane ticket or whatever. No, I'm serious though. What if the person says, I don't have the money for a plane ticket? How do they get to orientation? I think that's not a bad way to do it. If you want to fly, we'll pay you back later to make sure you stay. That's pretty good. IRS Section 179 on Tax Monday allows you to deduct the cost of a vehicle against the current year income. I used a Ram 3500 since it qualifies for the $25,000 deduction, being over 6,000 pounds gross vehicle weight rating. Oh, that's interesting. So you got a tax deduction for the Dodge. Are you saying if no drug test was taken for employment and you are hired, you have a preventable accident, it can't report it? No, I'm not saying that. Remember, I'm not an attorney. Okay. But any preventable accident, certainly they're going to put on your DAC report. They couldn't put down that you failed a drug test if they don't have a failed drug test. Okay. They're only legally, really, supposedly allowed to be put down what you legally did. Although from what people write in, again, they always put stuff on there that isn't necessarily correct. So they can put down what really happened. We pay for the flight, but on the first paycheck. But what happens for people that don't have the $69.50 for the flight on Southwest? Operating control of the vehicle is liable. You know that guy driving is going to go, hey, that guy right there, that's Cash is King Trucking. He's Cash is King. That guy's going to pay for this. It's called Get On the Look. There's any questions, up to the driver. You can believe me, the other driver's going to be hot-footing it down the aisle there too. Whoever's behind the wheel is responsible for any damage. Never trust anyone which way to tell you to turn the wheel. I'll tell you this. I've always said this, and people sometimes when I'm backing into places, not so much anymore, but earlier on in my career, there'd always be some guy come out of the dock and try to back me in or whatever, and I would have to stop and get out and tell him, look, I'm responsible for this truck. I'll get backed into your dock. Okay, you go back in to whatever cave you came out of inside there and get my stuff ready. I'll get backed in this dock, because that's what I thought too. I ultimately knew that if anything happened, I'm watching him. My company would hold me responsible for the damage to the truck. I couldn't say, well, that driver did it or whatever. So, Rodney Cole, thanks for the chats. Safe roll, neighbors. Try to beat the bottleneck of traffic. Yeah, horrible. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We pay for all travel expenses, whether it's fuel or flight or whatever else it might be. Do you pay for these? So are they all on the first check or whatever? I think that's an innovative way to do it. Alexander, I'd still like to see a more traditional-looking truck going for hydrogen rework. Well, maybe the deal is the truck's so futuristic. How about that? It's like this is the future of truck driving. Maybe. You'll be like on the cutting edge of technology with that truck. There's a blue GP Transco truck sitting at the Loves. Been in the same spot for 2 weeks. Teal. What's up with that? Maybe that guy's on home time. If a driver pays for a ticket, then gets orientation and gets dismissed, then the driver's messed up. Oh, that's interesting. It's being recovered after it had a breakdown. A good catch. That a lot of companies have the sticker on their ones I've seen. If this truck is sitting more than a day or whatever, call this number or whatever. Yeah, what if the driver does get dismissed? That's another very good question. So the driver comes to boot camp and can't do the push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run and gets dismissed out of orientation. Does he get paid back for that ticket? Maybe not. I would say maybe not. Checking in really late from Missouri. Christina, one can only use hand sanitizer so many times before they have to wash their hands. That's the unfortunate part of it. UPS is one of those trucks. I have it on video. Really? One of these hydrogen trucks? The one that they show in their promotional videos being used by JB Hunt, of all things. There are not that many hydrogen fuel stations yet. So it's going to be a little bit of time before we see these on the road. But I think that's a way better solution than an electric truck because you can fill it up in just a few minutes. The Bull Holland Bulldog, I made a new video thinking about the conversation we had last week about the crash on 80 and people tailgating around driving aggressively. Thanks for the talking point. Oh, you're welcome. And that's in the news today. The police have done a preliminary investigation and said that the crash was caused by drivers driving too fast for conditions and following too closely for conditions. And the vast majority of vehicles were commercial vehicles involved in that crash on I-80. So there you go. 3 people died. 2 of them were truck drivers in that accident. I think if push comes to shove, the hammer could find you liable if you're helping someone back into a spot and they hit something. Oh, the hammer, yeah. I don't know if he'd get involved in something small like that, but if that driver ran somebody over, I mean, the hammer, he's standing on top of one of the semis there in the truck stop. You can see him standing up there. You know he's watching you. Swift wouldn't use that hydrogen truck because their liability and safety record would bankrupt them. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, the hydrogen tanks are underneath it, and they're in carbon fiber tanks. If the driver paid for a flight and did not pass orientation and is disqualified, he or she will get a check cut to them for the amount they spent. Hotel stay is also covered. All right. So fair enough. So either way, if they get dismissed, they get the money back. And if they stay, they also get the money on their first check. So either way, they're getting the plane ticket covered. But if they don't show up, then you're not out any money. All right, I'm in. That saves you a lot of money and ensures drivers come. That's a darn good policy, but some companies don't do that. They'll send the driver out, and how they get home is up to them. That's true. A lot of companies would just say, forget it. But I agree with you. After I got fired from my 1099 gig, my Ram became my lifeline as a small hotshot trucking company. That's pretty nice. Now, but once you're your own trucking company like that, that's legit. You're a legit owner-operator then. Whatever cave you came out of. Yeah, that's what I tell these guys, because it's just, look at some guy. It looks like the guy from Mask. He comes out from the inside, opens a dark door, and comes out to back you in. I mean, come on. You know, who are they getting to come out? How do I know this guy has any idea to know how to back you in? You know, a salute to YouTube, to the YouTube channel. Very much useful information for newbies and a seasoned pros until you get your feet wet on your own. It is there to prevent drivers from using GP Transco as a free flight provider to see their aunt in Illinois. It has happened more than once. I agree with it. Look, I'm okay with it. You say, look, you get here, we'll pay you on your check. If we fire you or you don't get through, we'll still give you that money. So you're not out anything. Yeah. So everybody's got $13 to fly Southwest to Illinois. Jeanette, my trainee, is very young and pretty, and the problem I have is when she's backing is that she has so much help that she'll back right in another trailer. All right. The guys are all run out to her. Right. Oh, look at this. We'll be sure to help you there, little lady. Right. Wonderful. Just like it's 1953. California used hydrogen fuel buses and stopped because they were too expensive to operate. Really? Why would it be more expensive? It's supposed to have less problems with maintenance and stuff. It just has water come out of it. Christina would fail boot camp. I know. I don't know if I would call this boot camp. I guess it would encourage only the most fit drivers to apply. That's a NIKOLA ONE, right? That is the one. The real pickle is when an owner-operator tells us he or she can't afford a flight and needs to pay us to pay in advance. So the first breakdown they have in the future means we're out of business. Right. They're going to be wanting that money too. An owner-operator should certainly have, the $8 to fly Southwest. Does that hydrogen truck have a seat for your primate co-driver? Oh, nice. No, it's got a seat for your robot co-driver. Can I wear flip-flops to boot camp? Cashier scan, as long as you can carry those buckets, those 50-pound buckets around. Can you run the 2 miles in less than 17 minutes in flip-flops? They still provide an outside mirror instead of camera. Well, that saves $10,000. Well, they have to at the moment. The cameras aren't legal yet in the United States yet. I assume as soon as they are legal, they'll take those mirrors off of there. But right now, you still have to have mirrors outside the truck here. If a prospective driver could not afford to get to my site, I would not be interested in hiring them. You should have a few bucks to your name. But some people, stuff happens. Like, I've been bankrupt. So, stuff happens. We see it that way when it only comes to owner-operators because an owner-operator is completely broke. Any needed repairs become a disaster. Oh, yeah, right. The first, they blow a tire and they're like, hey, can you loan me however much a tire costs? $300? Corona is fear porn. It seems to be. It's everywhere. But yet, it's really nowhere. Most large carriers don't recognize local work as experience. They will say, okay, you got 8 months even though you got 5 years. Absolutely. Look, I couldn't get a job at most of the places you guys work, and even beginner companies. I could not get a job just walking into a truck. They would tell me, oh, I'm sorry, Mark, your local experience doesn't count for anything. You have to go with a trainer. So, yeah, I agree. That is a consideration. If you're going to go local, you have to consider that the road for you is probably going to be closed off at some point for many companies. Like Swift would tell me I have to go with a trainer, May Trucking and all that, because I don't have recent over-the-road experience. That's what they would tell me. So once you become a local driver, for a lot of places, the road, you get locked out of the road. GP Transco, can I get that flight with a layover in Hawaii? I wanted to ask GP Transco if there's a limit on the amount of the ticket as well, because I think it's interesting. Alexander, I never had help backing. I'm not what you call pretty. Apparently I have a combative attitude. The thing is, are you telling people, get away from my truck or whatever like that? That's the thing. But, look, is it better to have the guy from the mask come out, to come out and or Edward Scissorhands come out to help you? Oh, my gosh. Well, if you're an amazing driver, perhaps we would consider. Is there a limit on the ticket? I couldn't run 2 miles of my life dependent on I'm big around as I am tall, Christina. That's the thing. You call your orientation boot camp. Alexander tries to be nice when people are stupid. That is correct. Here we have like 10 people have been killed by coronavirus, and now we've been canceling shows and stuff, and people are buying toilet paper. Okay, this is why we're not on Mars. That BS might... Driving a truck in the city is much more difficult than over the road, comfortable in. I know, but companies do not call that road driving. And once you're local for a while, they're like, you don't have any recent over-the-road experience. There's no dress code to the onboarding boot camp. No, because you got to be in Gymshark gear or whatever, sweats and, athletic athleisure wear. I got to come in with all that stuff because I'm doing these push-ups, sit-ups. Right, I can just imagine it in there. Listen, you pukes, what's going on here at this orientation there? What do you think you are, right? You don't even deserve to be here. I'm not a super trucker. I take help backing. Texas Trader, I just didn't want to do it because I knew that I'm responsible for it. So I don't accept help backing up. I don't. I'm responsible ultimately. If I say I back up and I take the door off the truck, the company's going to go, well, why'd you listen to that guy from the mask? Why didn't you back the truck up yourself? They tell that guy to go back in his hovel in there or whatever. That's how it would do it, right? The mask was Rocky Dennis. Oh, right. All I could think of was Cher, but that wasn't the one. Does GP Transco give you a return ticket home without hire? I'm curious if there's a limit on the flight, and I'm really curious. Like my wife, which I've said, right, flies to Seattle first class to go see her son. She flies every year. So could I fly to O'Hare first class from wherever I am? Would GP Transco pay that ticket? 50 cents. Driver decides the camera. Profit sharing, extra cent for utilizing fuel. Right. About half the drivers, right? Get that or something? 20% of drivers. 2 miles in 17 minutes. How big is the dog chasing me? Cash is king. I think if I remember, that was what boot camp was, right? Army boot camp. It's push-ups, sit-ups, and 2 miles. I think 17 minutes was the minimum, right? Because there was always some guy who did it in 12 minutes. I go, I don't care, right? It doesn't matter. You only have to do it in 17 minutes. So, but I think it was 17 minutes. Sit up from the recliner, push up from buffet, and run to bathroom. That's almost what you would have to do. But I'm just envisioning this boot camp of being yelled at for 3 days of boot camp there. Well, they scream at you and stuff, and then you tell them, I want a teal truck. You don't deserve any kind of truck. But if you drive up, I guess you get your gas back, and if you Greyhound yourself, you'd get the Greyhound back then. No, GP Transco doesn't hire in quite all the states. I want to give their information here. Where is it? Since we're talking about them here. I'm making fun of their boot camp. Look, they probably don't have you do push-ups, sit-ups, or a 2 mile run. They do guarantee you $1,000 a week, but they don't guarantee you a teal truck or any certain kind of truck. So don't tell them I did. Somebody said that one time. That's information from GP Transco right there. I want to say that Fleet Nav Systems was on today, too. They had meetings and stuff to go to, and they're going to be at the truck show unless we coronavirus out of it. There's some ELD log questions. Get them over to them. Don't forget about Jay tomorrow, live, 8 p.m. Central Time, right? 8 p.m. Central. Set your clocks. Go talk to Jay. Drive a car hauler. He's got the best car hauling auto transport show going, really. I mean, that's all you can really say about it. There have been cases when a driver is completely unprofessional and rude, which can mean they're getting home on their own. I agree, right? Christina used to have an attitude, but not so much anymore. I was young and full of myself. Now I'd let someone else help me. I like it when men hold the doors and open the doors for me. Yeah, I'll do that for you. With that Ohio Tax Act, Mark, do you want to go halves on an Ohio-based truck training company? It could remain anonymous to get our new company out of your videos. Yes, I'll be a silent partner in that, and I get my share of that Ohio taxpayer money to hire drivers that they don't need. There's a limit on the ticket. Okay, there it is. $200. When there are no options under $200, we'll pay more when needed. Okay, so my first class is out, I guess. Christina, are you going on Friday? Yes, I'll be there all day Friday as long as the show goes on. So if it doesn't, I'll announce that here. But as long as the show's on, I'm there all day Friday. Absolutely. Not when the driver wants a $300 ticket, but a $140 ticket is available. Well, that stinks. I mean, I got to fly first class. I got to have the big seat and everything. Hey, Wild Bill, I see that. That's what I'm saying about Jay and stuff, because my company is make me come into work. So there. Not all of us have all these days off coming. You know, we can't all get 28 weeks of vacation like some people do. And I did want to see about the ticket. I thought, can a driver choose a first class ticket? No. We got to come in coach. We got to come coach from here. I guess I would just drive from here. But across the country, $200. Southwest, you can fly. I think you can fly to Australia on Southwest for like $46. So I think it shouldn't be any problem getting over there for that kind of money. And that's an interesting way to do it. I think that probably saves you a lot of money on paying people back that don't come on. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, the company does make me come in as usual. But I always tell people also to join OIDA. And you can join, I think, at the show for $25 if the show goes on. I think they run a special at the show, $25 to join for a year. It's normally $45. So if you're not a member, well worth going to the show and joining down there. I think they'll let you join online for that same amount of money. I think so. So that's the end of that. So today, Michael Muller was first, which I appreciate on the web. And then Wild Bill was first on my sign here. No, could not coach ride the crack on. Yeah, who wants to ride the crack on? Christina, newsflash, you're not 90 pounds. Well, my leg is 90 pounds, so there's that at least. The 2 mile run, I don't know. Maybe if the coronavirus was chasing me around or there was like extra toilet paper on the end that I could sell on eBay, I might be in for it then. Christina, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Alexandra is getting loaded and waiting for the wings. Thanks for being here. Cash is King Trucking. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. And Aviator Trucker was here today. GP Transco stayed the show today. I thank you very much for being here and answering our questions. JD Forney, what's happening? Polaris Man 09, I love it. Thank you for being here today. Blue Lion was here. I had George Wilson here today. Al Johns was here today. Thank you, Matt Hatter, for coming in. Comfortable Man 12, right? Caleb was here. I appreciate it. Texas Trader, Chad Brooks, thank you for all for being here. I try to get to everybody. There's too many people here. As I go up the list here, there's people, and there we go. Stan Dodge is here. Oh, Rhino is here too, right? Don't not forget Rhino coming in. Going up to the great Northwest there. I love it. Going there. Get the jacket out. Well, Doggies was here, but my company makes me go in and make them money, unfortunately, every day, so which we all have to do. But I do appreciate everybody being here. I'll keep you updated on Matt's. In case they close for coronavirus, they might. They said, they'll keep updated. So keep watching the website and see what they have to say about it. Otherwise, I'll see you there. And we'll see you right back here on the channel this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon. Be safe and wash your hands.